The Mighty Mighty Pretenders. It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I am Ron Bennington. We're the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. Take that, other radio people. Take that, Gator with the heater, Jerry Blavitt. How's that feel? Where's Geraldine Blavitt to do a show with you? So much to get to today. I'm crushed with the loss of Tom Wolfe, one of my favorite writers of all time. Great American writer, great New York writer. The inventor, some say, of new journalism. That's when you put yourself into the story. Passed away today. Man, always going around New York City dressed in white, no matter what time of the year it was.
Best look ever.
Very, well, I don't know if it's good to call a man dainty, but I'm going to do that. But what a writer. Back when we used to care about writers, back when writers were celebrities. Yeah, he was amazing. And we got to get this. Chris, you got some production lined up?
Yes, I do.
The next guest on Unmasked with Ron Bennington is comedian, actor, and now author, Tom Papa.
I like it when you call me Tom Papa. Tom Papa. We're doing that at the Village Underground Tuesday, June 5th, 6 p.m. at the very cool Village Underground in New York City. Tom's got a new book, Your Dad Stole My Rake and Other Family Dilemmas, available now for pre-orders. I have a copy of it, and like everything Tom does, it's very, very funny. I'm really looking forward to this night because he's one of my favorite people.
Yes, he is definitely one of our favorites. I absolutely love Tom Papa. Perfect that it's going to be at the Village Underground. I'm very excited for that show.
It's kind of Tom's home away from home as it is. And not only has he had a pretty fantastic career, but he's a very great showbiz story guy. And I'm a sucker for any kind of backstage story. I love each and every one of them. So this is one we wanted to do for a while. And the book, Your Dad Stole My Rake and Other Family Dilemmas, available for pre-order. Go to the iBang.com for a chance to win free tickets. Tom Papa, Unmasked at the very, very cool Village Underground, June 5th in New York City. And that's 6 p.m., Chris?
6 p.m.
Cool. Yeah, will you be available for that? Or
I will be available.
I never know when you're going to have a baby.
I just make sure I have a comfy seat, please.
Yeah, comfy seat and a bucket of ice for your ankles or whatever those problems are. Hot day today, but it was a nice day.
Yeah, it was really nice.
When we start to put a couple of weeks of these together, that's when you're going to be melting in the city.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. We had like a hot one, like one random hot day like a week ago, and I was walking around doing errands and thought, oh, like this is not going to be easy.
No, nothing.
This is going to be really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they always say the worst time to have a baby is in the summer. Because the summer fucks with you.
Yeah, it does.
Where the baby, in the winter, you're just basically keeping it on ice.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's happy to stay in the winter.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I had people tell me that as difficult as that is, it's better to have your baby in the summer because once she's born, you're not just like living in fear of exposure. Like when you step outside and you're just like bundling them up and you're just terrified that the cold will get into their little bones.
That baby can't have direct sunlight either.
That's true.
Nothing works for a baby. This is a big mechanical cruising world. Well, I gotta. What do they call it? Baby-fi, baby something. My
baby
place.
Proof?
Baby proof. Yeah. Which I don't plan on it. I mean, there's a lot of cigar cutters.
Yeah.
In my home, which that's a very sharp little tool for a baby.
And you gotta be careful with that fan too.
I like to keep a little breezy fan to keep the air conditioning moving. I like moving air. And Gail's brother's saying, I go, this apartment's already perfect for a baby. You know, there's not even like a grill on the front of that fan. You just have an exposed fan blade.
I thought it was very funny he took that on.
You've got because it's ironic. None of it's real. You got look at the box
This
that
is
came
so
in
beautiful.
from Andrea.
Andrea, this is already, I haven't even opened it, and this is so pretty.
Save that box for
I'm going to
baby,
save it.
for baby toys.
I'm going to put her diapers in there.
She said anything to me or just you right now?
It's just to me and my
Okay.
mans. This is so sweet. Wishing you a lifetime of health and happiness with your baby girl. She's a lucky one.
It's so nice to say.
Yeah. Oh my God. First thing I open up, I see Eagles gear, Eagles bottle,
And that poor
Eagle-
baby's born in Giants country.
Eagles pacifier. Oh my God.
Make sure
this
Chris
is so
doesn't break it.
cute. Chris, you stay away from these things. Little Eagles bib.
Well, that way when she's having a little hoagie.
When she has just tiny hoagie.
Yeah.
You have to
oh,
just
little
give them a
baby
really
hoagie.
tiny hoagie.
I'll eat 18 of them.
Holy shit. This is maybe the coolest thing I've ever seen.
What's that?
This is a Ronettes onesie,
Ah,
which is my favorite group of all time. Ronnie Spector is my hero. Oh my God, I love this so much.
I didn't even know they had a Ronettes onesie.
I know. They do everything.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. And a Jean-Michel Basquiat onesie. The
Aw.
little signature same-o crown.
Like, so the baby can wear heroin addicts' clothing.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow, that's really cool.
I know.
awesome.
Like my most favorite artists, Eagles stuff. This is all so thoughtful. Oh my God, look at all this stuff. All these baby books. Okay, so this is the feminist portion. I am Jane Goodall. I am Amelia Earhart.
Wow.
I am Harriet Tubman.
All the people that
These are so cool.
Harvey Weinstein tried to get into bed physically.
Oh my God.
That's really nice,
Andrea,
Andrea.
these are like the sweetest, most thoughtful gifts. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm really blown away.
Oh, and
These
Chris,
onesies are so cool.
Chris's Costa Rican girlfriend is looking for a little baby switchblade.
Oh,
It's tiny, just real little.
They're so cute when they think they're
I
stabbing.
know.
But at most, it's just a hard scratch. Adorable. Adorable to see a baby switchblade.
Oh my God, this stuff is so sweet. And I'm gonna
I don't
keep
know
this
if I like the
box.
Ronettes or the Basquiat better.
I know
They're both very hip.
She's
very
pretty.
hip.
Yeah, she's a cool kid already.
Yeah, I guess she is. By no doing of her own. Yesterday, she was trying to kick out the Jams. We're trying to have a show here.
Yeah, I know. She really was. And then it actually got worse on the train on the way home because she had been like kicking in one spot.
Yeah.
So I had my hand there just kind of like holding where she was kicking. And then she pushed out with her foot so hard. Like not a kick, just like a
She wants
stretch.
out like cracking an egg.
And it was like her foot was in my hand.
She could be using her little beak to try to break through.
And I was like, please. I felt like she could break through skin. It was really scaring me. You're not done yet. Stay in there.
That whole thing of having a human inside of you is nothing that men can identify with at all.
It's actually, at first it was like cool because you're like, oh, you feel little kicks and little movements. But now that she's getting bigger, I can really feel like how particularly weird it is when she shifts her body and you're like, that feels like an alien life form just like moving around under your skin.
You're due in July,
Yeah.
and we're having that big neighborhood pool party. I was just thinking, if your water breaks, it's going to ruin the pool party.
How am I even going to know?
Oh, that's a good point. Don't worry, everybody. Somebody's water might have broken. I don't know.
Is this your bloody show?
Was
that too much, guys?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Quite frankly, any of it's too much.
Yeah. The moving around inside is really that just hit me like it just must be the oddest fucking thing.
It's very strange.
High Society Radio is writing to us to try to get people to listen to Chris Pepper Hicks Stanley.
Are they?
RT.
I'm just gonna send this to Don, saying I feel like this is crossing a line.
Oh no.
I mean, you're literally going up to SiriusXM subscribers and saying subscribe with us instead.
That's not right.
Most people drop their radio show before they start podcasting. This guy wants his cake and eat it too. I don't want a cake, and then I don't want to eat it. That's the way I get over. No cake, no eating it. The newspapers asked for a Tom Wolfe quote for me.
Not yet, but maybe we should just do one just in case.
Just put it's the Wolof, and then just like a sheep screaming.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Just say, I guess the sheep can sleep peacefully tonight. The wolf did not survive. Hashtag Los Lobos. Hashtag Waylon Jennings.
It's good. I just kind of feel like you're focusing on the wolf aspect a lot.
Thank you. So, for once, this wolf came in sleep's clothing. Hashtag pajamas.
Hashtag pajamas.
Yeah. No, just say this. Send us out the New York Times promo quote for me. Okay. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? I guess nobody now. He's dead. Then just put hashtag hash brownies. Hashtag LOL.
Hashtag lol.
I think these are going to end up everywhere. I'm going to go fucking viral as all piss. Yeah. I remember when I read the electric Kool-Aid acid test when I was a kid. I'm like, I did a lot of acid. Doesn't even remind me of me. I'm really fucking thirsty today. I think it's the sun
heat.
outside.
I'm the same way.
Vito, carry one of those big giant water fucking bottles down the hall here, and then just put it outside of my glass. Give me a straw, and I'll keep. While you're pouring, I'll drink enough to keep this at a 3/4 level.
Okay.
But The Right Stuff is probably one of the better books written of all time. Bonfire of the Vanities reminds me of me every time I'm coming back from the airport.
And The Bonfire. I think that's where they got the name.
Oh, great one. Just send to the New York Times. I guess the only bonfire we'll have now is Big J and Dan Soder.
Got it.
And then put down hashtag Amy Schumer's text.
Amy Schumer's
Don't know what it means. And then next to text, put like a little AS for Texas.
Got it.
Yeah, and say no one messes with Amy's Texas.
All right, got it. So the ass will be in a parentheses.
Ass, please, Chris. You're not sending us out to Penthouse letters. It's the only part of Penthouse he'd read. He'd jack all over the Penthouse letters, and then off he'd go. The fucking third grade.
That's the one where they ask like sexy questions and stuff?
No. That's the one where people tell their kind of confessions.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's always like, I live in a Midwestern college town. My 14.5-inch cock. No one ever wrote in having a small cock.
I wonder if there's a reason that like young people read that stuff. Is it that it's being explained to them and it's helpful? Like
it's being explained in a very confusing way, though.
I read those all the time. Also, romance novels. My mom had a bunch of romance novels that and Jack too.
I did like to come across something sexy to read, but the only problem is it would always be like his throbbing member.
Yeah, there's always members.
If you use that later on, you're gonna look weird.
Yeah. Don't nice member, dude.
Like, don't say that.
You used to read your mom's.
Jackie Collins books.
You would jerk to him?
I would jack to him as a young man.
Would you do it right over her shoulder while she was reading it?
Oh, Chris.
No.
Didn't you say you jacked next to your mom on a bus?
Yes. I gotten tickets for my mom to see Seinfeld. It was out in PA somewhere. We could only get there via Greyhound. Coming back from the trip, we were sitting next to each other. It was an overnight bus. Got into New York like at 7 a.m. or something. And like, I had masturbated in like 2 days. So my mom was passed out next to me. And then I massaged my penis through my pants until I ejaculated.
Do you remember if you were just thinking about your mom laying there?
I wasn't thinking about her.
So disgusting to
That's
me.
the most horrific
That's like
thing ever.
maybe the worst story ever. I was just looking the horror of Vito's face because he loves his mom and he
Of
would
course he
never
does.
disrespect
But he
her
loves
that
his
way.
mom in the right way.
Yeah, like
I won't even
As a
watch
mom.
a movie with like sex. I don't even like watching a sex scene with my mom. I can't imagine jerking off on a fucking bus next to her.
At 4 in the
Hey,
morning.
let's not judge each other, okay?
Thank
For
you.
the round table here.
Thank you, Ron.
You know, this is a group. Everybody has to be free when they bottomed out. Now, so you were old enough that you bought the tickets?
Yeah, it was like a Christmas gift. I can't remember. It was a gift for something.
It's like about 5 years ago?
No. I was 20 years old when I did
Oh,
this.
that's way too old.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're some kind of confused 13-year-old, you know what I mean? I think people would let you go. But you were old enough to be considered a sex criminal, even if your mom wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a good
Just for
point.
jerking off on a bus.
Yeah. It was a full bus, too, so I don't know what the people across the row were thinking.
Everybody coming back from Seinfeld?
I'm not sure what
What's the deal with your mom on a bus? Kramer!
what about the mess? What did you do?
It was
He
just-
laid in it.
I
Laid in this gooey mess
I
till,
laid-
till it made potato flakes. Get Chris,
Yeah.
she's pregnant. You can't sit around talking about laying in a gooey mess.
I thought I had to talk about it. I felt the need to. But yeah, I just laid in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
so
then the
gross.
bus hit a patch of black ice and almost fucking went over a cliff.
This is when your mom was cleaning you up.
Did you wish that it did?
No.
After the shame of what you just did to your mother?
I didn't do anything to my mother. She was
You
passed out.
did.
She had nothing. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. She just had a great evening watching Seinfeld do stand up.
You're just lucky you weren't completing when the black ice disaster happened.
I didn't know it was called completing. I'm completing. I'm completing.
You complete me, Mom.
Oh.
No.
The weird thing, it was the year Titanic came out.
Oh. That wasn't in Titanic.
So you're driving home, you just jack,
Yeah.
then the bus hit some black guys,
Yes.
and
Nice.
Oh
kept
my
on
God.
going.
They didn't
Fucking
stop?
racial, sex crimes.
Incest, everything.
Oh, it's
the
got it
story
all.
has everything.
Then we had to be picked up by another Greyhound bus because that bus was then out of commission, and we had to like sleep.
Looked like you had to do a second batch.
Oh my God. I'm so grossed
He had
out
to
by
mark his
this.
territory again.
Don't Greyhounds have bathrooms?
Oh.
Yeah, they do.
So you could
That
have got.
didn't stop him from shitting in his pants, though. He came pissed and shit. And you were just laying on your mom while you did it?
No, I was sitting next to her.
Face
Sitting
against
on
her
her lap.
ample bosom.
So
Fucking creep.
gross.
Look, she was asleep. She didn't know what was happening.
I understand. That doesn't make her any less of a victim, though.
The real problem I had was the dude in front of me would not fucking put his seat up. That was the fucking real problem of the entire trip.
By
Like, I
seat, you
was-
mean his ass?
no, the
No
actual
one puts
seat.
their seat up. That's the
Everyone.
whole reason you have lounging seats.
No, I think that lounging seats should be fucking not even manufactured. I
But
think
they are.
But they
That's the
there
thing.
needs to be like a-
No, you can't have it at that point.
Chris, but you put your seat back on a plane?
I never put my seat
Really?
back on a plane ever. You
Not
know
even
why?
an inch?
Because
He's got to sit up to jack. You jack on a plane?
I've jacked on a plane. Yes.
Oh,
Well, there was this one.
That's the saddest Mile High Club I've ever heard.
Dude, I'll give you one even fucking, I was going to say better, but I'll say worse. Eastside Dave always makes sure that he jacks at a national monument.
Why? Why would he do that?
He wants to have memorable jacks.
So in a public place at a national.
Well, he'll go into the turlet, but it'll make sure
Ugh.
like it's I guess a strange way of collecting things.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, we only know creeps.
That's really weird, but patriotic, I guess.
Yeah, in an odd way. I was I forget, he went through the list.
I think Plymouth Rock was one he actually jacked on.
No,
No,
you
he
can't
did
get
not.
close to
You
that.
can't
Okay.
even do
By
that.
the way, I've been there. It should be Plymouth Stone.
you
at
should
best.
see it. It's not very
It's the
big.
smallest fucking piece of shit.
It's
known
really
to man.
small.
Fuck that.
And I don't want you looking it up. I want you to fucking visit there with your Costa Rican.
Okay, I'll show her. This is how this
Jack
country was
off on
found.
it.
You jack on her?
I'm not. No,
Why?
Why?
Oh, she's not as precious as your mom.
I didn't jack on my mother. I jacked next to her.
I'm sure there was spillage.
Yeah, of course there was.
There was, as you call it, runoff coming down your pant leg.
But on flights, I'll
Don't. You know what? Don't talk disgusting in front of the baby's clothes.
I know. She's
All right,
gonna
the little
wear
Basquiat, little Ronettes.
close. I apologize.
Which one are you going to bring her home in? The Ronettes or the
this.
Basquiat?
Oh my god, they're both so cute. I don't know. I love them both so much.
Is there a little Julian snubble top, tube top in there she can wear?
That would be great.
Do they make baby tube tops just fucking selling in Walmarts across the South, the Mid-South?
I believe they do. I'd tell Chris to look it up, and then he'd be on a list.
He's on a fucking list anyway. He's on a no fucking drive list with Greyhound.
He should be.
Sir, I'm sorry, your name popped up on a no ride list.
This is bullshit.
You know, it's the exact opposite bullshit. You committed a sex crime on a Greyhound bus. That's fucking horrific. Horrific.
I was backed up.
It's really gross.
How does Chris jerk off in his mom's presence? Disgusting slob.
This person is right.
Well, see, it wasn't that much of a problem because growing up, I lived with my father and my grandmother and my mother in a 1-bedroom apartment, and they would catch me masturbating quite often. Like there wasn't.
Yeah, sure, because you were standing in front of the TV.
Still
I
a
was in the
problem.
bathroom.
Like, what do you mean it wasn't a problem?
But there wasn't like a lock on the bathroom, so they would like barge in sometimes while I was masturbating.
Oh God.
I'd say, "Get out of there," and then I'd finish.
Wait, that's the part that really bugs me, is that kind of break-in could happen and then he could just yell, "Get out," and then continue. Like, that doesn't ruin everything for you?
No, I was like a 14-year-old boy. I had to get that out.
Yeah, but at 20, you still had to get that out. How about get a fucking girlfriend, you disgusting fucking...
I think I did have a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, what
That
was his
poor-
name?
Jeff.
Poor Jeff.
Jeff? Ryan in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I got. I could relate to Chris. We're coming back from vacation, and I was in the middle seat of our minivan, and I jerked it. My parents were in the front. My brother was in the back seat.
Wait, where did you go? Tits Mountain? What made you so fucking horny with your family?
Wisconsin Dells.
Do you even remember what you were thinking about, Chris?
I can't remember what I was thinking about. I think I was just going by like I was so like I had because I had.
You don't even fantasize. It's just
Nothing like triggered you? You didn't
This
see
is
like
what
a
triggered
sexy
him.
lady on the bus?
here's
or
what
something?
triggered him. Hey, I could start stroking my cock right now. Hello, listen to my mom snore.
Oh, Chris.
And he's just like fucking 2 inches from her face.
Chris, that's so gross. You did it 2 inches from her face?
No,
That's what I just heard.
Mm-hmm.
our legs may have been touching. I'm not. I can't remember. It was
You can
Greyhound
remember
buses.
everything
Oh.
about it.
They're tight.
My God.
You know what you could have done instead? Grabbed a rope and fucking hung yourself from the bus. It would have been less embarrassing, less fucking horrific. You've ruined the Tom Papa announcement again.
I'll mess with Tom Papa. It's
You're
happening.
not going to fucking
Okay.
be the person who says
No,
that.
of
You
course
jacked
not.
on your mom. That'll be a nice fucking boy. Vito gets to read.
The Unmasked with Tom Papa is happening Tuesday, June 5th at 6 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. Go to the iBank for a chance to win free tickets.
You're a little squishy there.
Yeah, I got a little cold, been drinking pure vitamin C. We should be all good by tomorrow.
No, you know what? Me and Gail are dealing with your fucking cold right now, too.
Yeah.
Or else, didn't you say, was it your doctor or somebody?
Yeah. So my midwife thinks perhaps I could be confusing it with allergies, which I can't
Well, you're
really
not
tell.
stupid. You fucking don't feel well.
I don't feel good.
Why didn't you stay home today?
I'm fine.
I hate when people say that. Oh, I'm good. Really? Are you? Well, you're sick for 2 now. I wonder if Chris jacked in the womb.
Probably.
I would think so.
Or just as your mom's giving birth to you, she sees your little fucking hand.
Oh, Chris.
Just riding the way out.
And this is the same guy who gave a rosary to my mom. You know, he probably spanked on it.
I did not.
Did you?
No.
Did you spank with it like in your pocket or near your person?
It might have been in the room at one point, but not, not
That's
close.
the sin. Especially if it's with either masturbation or premarital sex.
You're going to burn.
It's a sin.
You're going to burn from the inside. You're going to have an eternity of feeling like you just ate 8,000 hot peppers.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, there's a guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terry.
Oh, Terry Crews.
That his real last name?
Did I make that up? Okay. I said it so confidently that I believe myself.
Well, his name is Terry on the show, too, right?
Yeah.
Terry Conklin. Is that it?
I don't know what his name on the show is.
You don't
Peter,
watch
you're
the
supposed
show?
to know everything.
I do watch the show.
TV guy.
No, Jeffries. Terry Jeffries. Sergeant Jeffries.
Wasn't someone's name Conklin on that show?
Raymond Holtz.
Oh, no.
Jake Peralta.
Who plays Jake's little girlfriend? She's adorable.
I was just looking her up because she's never been in. I feel like she's never been in anything else. She's only done a few episodes of Gossip Girl, but she's great on that show.
I don't know if she's great, but she's adorable. But he doesn't even see if a woman looks good or not. He's just
he doesn't think
right
like
to
that.
their IMDb.
The credits.
Fucking Rain Man. You're like Rain Man doing the show with
Blair's friend on Gossip Girl for 6 episodes.
Don was telling me how idiotic and embarrassing Dan was yesterday on the show. And I go, well, he was doing it on the other show for a long time. Why didn't anybody complain then? He goes, he is a disaster. I go, yeah, but people love to look at disasters.
Beautiful disaster.
I mean, if you're watching fucking TV and a real life tornado comes on, you watch it, and you're like, holy shit, is it heading right for that school? When's tornado season? Is that a summer thing?
I think it's a late
Yeah, it's end
summer?
of summer. End of summer's tornado season.
I didn't know that. It was like baseball playoffs?
Like around
Because that's
Labor Day.
the end of summer is hurricane season.
Yeah, late summer into fall.
I think you got a hurricane and a tornado mixed up.
Fuck.
Like your tornadoes, do they hit coastal towns?
They can.
Hello, Cullen. You're on the Bennington Show.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, have you guys seen the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer that came out today for the Queen Freddie Mercury doc? Well, not doc, Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
I think the trailer's amazing, and my expectations were so low when they dropped Sasha from it.
Well, first of all, my expectations were low for Queen. All right, let's take a look at this trailer. It's Mr. Robot is the guy who's playing
cool.
Freddie Mercury. Well, it was supposed to be the other guy, the comic, Sacha Baron. So,
Let's go! She's a killer queen. Just gotta get out. Just gotta get right.
So now what?
This is when the operatic section comes in.
Oh, the operatic section, yeah.
Mamma mia, mamma mia. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. For me. For me.
It goes on forever, 6 bloody minutes. I pity your wife if you think 6 minutes is forever.
Queen.
I'm in.
Every one of these rock movies, the rock and roll artist is so witty. They're all the Beatles.
Yeah.
I'll pity your wife.
Roasted them.
I'm in though. I'm like, it looks pretty good. That was a really solid trailer.
I was hoping Tim Dillon would be playing that part. You know who the new bromance is?
Who?
Tim Dillon and Louis J. Gomez.
Really? Unlikely pair.
Mm-hmm. They're doing, I think, some shows together.
Wow. How bromantic.
It is very romantic. I don't know who's closing. Yeah, let me tell you right now, food trucks, I don't know if I can need them. Don't go on a cruise, folks. They're fucking terrible. They're barbaric. He was screaming at the people of Austin how terrible food trucks are, and it's the only way they know how to get food. Their food has to be trucked in from Dallas. Trump just called the leakers traitors. It is weird how many I don't remember as many leaks in my life as much as there is now.
Man, he had just like a really great tweet yesterday when he was saying like the leaks are blown out of proportion and most of this is like fake news and it's not even real. But for the real leakers, I will find you.
Yeah.
It was just kind of contradicting. Like, but it was like, there's no leakers, but there is, and I'll get them. I was like, that's amazing.
You're cowards and traitors, and I'm coming for you. And there's like fucking 10 guys going, oh shit. I would leak who I thought the leakers were. I would leak. Chris Stanley's doing all the leaking. If this was us, if we were the White House, who do you think our leaker would be?
I
know immediately. It's not even fucking hard for me to say. Vito.
Vito would be the leaker?
No way is it going to be Chris Stanley.
No, he does. I mean, you can't.
He doesn't even talk in meetings.
No, he doesn't. He is like locked down. You
Yeah.
could tell Chris anything, and you also can't get anything from him.
No, that's good.
But I feel like Vito could be coerced with like goods and
You don't have to
services.
coerce.
Slip.
This is what Vito says. Guys, pay attention to me for a minute. Everyone look at me. I have news. So pay attention to me.
Like, I feel like I could get Vito to leak if I just said like, I'll take you out to lunch.
So then Leeds said to Roland that Don was coming over. And like Jack was like, Don, what is wrong with you? You're a fucking moron. And then Leeds' eyes were all big. And then he said that Roland started to pee himself. And I'm like, why are you telling me any of this, you fucking leaker? Oh, I was in the bathroom. And Sway was in there and he was peeing. What? And I go, what did he say? Nothing. He just peed, washed his hands, and left. But he's been peeing in that bathroom every day. Every day I see Adam Shine as we're coming in. You know what he says to me? Sports gambling.
Yes.
He just yelled sports gambling at me. Where they said the jersey's going to be ready in 2 weeks.
2 weeks from yesterday, because they're the ones who like brought it to the Supreme Court.
So they were already panning out the details.
Yeah, they've
before?
already like built out the space at Monmouth Racetrack.
What space do you need? You need a fucking iPhone. That's it.
Oh yeah. I
don't want to fucking go to a racetrack to bet. I want to bet from my home. I'll put $1 million down.
Dude.
I feel good. Do it.
I'll put $1 million down that it's tails, because tails never fails. Do you know how bad you are at gambling? And now this is going to happen?
Yeah, that's a concern.
You stink at gambling.
I'm really bad.
They call you the Jinx.
Yeah, it's not a good fucking nickname to have if you like to gamble.
They ought to call you the cooler. You should just go stand next to people that are on a hot streak.
Get him away from me.
Mark Cuban said this yesterday. It's up on the iBang. The Supreme Court just doubled the price of my team. He feels like these teams are way more involved now because they're going to get 1% of everything that's gambling.
Right.
1%. Pay me the vig, motherfucker. That's a fucking penny you owe, prick.
Look now. I just feel like he couldn't be happier.
Here's what I'm thinking. A lot of kids don't follow baseball because they didn't grow up playing baseball. They grew up playing what?
Soccer.
Video games.
Right.
Now, why wouldn't there be gambling on video games? They watch people play video games. I heard there's this one guy 100,000 people watch him every night playing a video game.
Yeah, and there's the dude PewDiePie, who's like the biggest guy on YouTube. And he
Oh,
has
PewDiePie was a video game?
He was a video
I
game
just
guy.
know that horrible name. I don't know
Yeah.
why. There was a
PewDiePie. PewDiePie.
The new guy's
dude.
ninja.
That's not the fucking point of this story. I'm talking about sports gambling. Stay out of it, Chris. What were you going to say, Vito?
The new guy's
Something
ninja.
about the Mets thinking?
Terrible. But the new guy.
They've got the only under fucking hand pitcher right now.
But esports gambling could have like a major market because the industry's like getting pretty big. They're building esports arenas and shit.
Speaking of what the word that you just said the other day, Trump said industry fucking 5 times in the same thing. This industry will come back. It's one of the biggest industries. It's such a New York thing to do.
So weird.
Like the other night, I'm at the stand and the kid kept saying ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah. Ambulance showed up. And I just see like tourists going like this. What is he talking about right now? An ambulance? But he's not saying ambulance. He's saying ambulance. The ambulance industry. Vito, do you play any games?
I got into Fortnite for 1 week, but fucking those like 10-year-old kids are really good at it, and you have no room for improvement.
And you can't just
What do
play
you
on
mean you
your
have
own.
no room for improvement?
It's really hard to get good. Like I was trying to play that game for like 3 days, and I just couldn't fucking get good, and they just kill you before you even have a chance to learn the game.
Yeah, that's why you keep going and going. Same way you quit fucking high school football is because you sweat it. You got to keep staying with it.
I don't
What
know.
is your fucking hurry to be the best?
It's you have to build shit in this game and
Yes.
kill people, and it takes a while.
Yes, a
Work
while.
at it.
For the same reason, you look how long you've done radio now. How long?
3 years.
And you stink at it, but you keep trying.
Every day you come
Yeah.
in.
And maybe years after we're all dead, you'll have a good day in here. He does quit things quickly, though.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Well, he's discouraged.
Just Fortnite doesn't seem worth my time.
What? What else are you fucking doing with your time? Coaching kids in kickball?
Kickball, flag football.
Why don't you leave the children alone to play their own games?
They don't need you as their hype man all the time.
They need a leader.
They don't.
They're kids.
A leader.
All right, kids, time for kickball. Okay.
Everybody except for this little loser. He probably gets them started on fucking just bullying. Sad.
Vito, are you going to host my baby's birthday party?
Dude, you should.
I would love to do that. I'm a professional of like 10 years.
Why don't you
But
bring
do I have to do it over at your place? Can we
No.
just like go to a park? But
park.
then you're like
You
the
got a
pro-
pier over in Brooklyn?
They only do piers. Give me potato sacks, some cones.
I feel like you should provide
Did you
this.
just say potato sacks?
Yeah, we do potato sack races.
You
Oh.
said
Ew.
potato
Like
sack.
he's not even paying attention. And he thinks he's no good at Fortnite. You know what you're good at? Fortnite. That's what you should be doing.
I just kind of feel like if I'm hiring him, he should provide the potato sacks and cones and all those things.
Working into the budget.
Why is this the all fucking ramp of this story? Here's the thing. Stay away from children. Stay 200 yards away from them at all times. Why don't you teach them how to open up a bottle with your teeth the way you showed us that day? Hey, Michael. Michael, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie B, great show, buddy. I
It
was
is
going to
great.
tell you, you can bet on some e-games. There's some online books, and some of the British books will set lines in the e-game leagues, and Korea is a real big favorite.
Well, you talked. We talked about this. I don't think you said a word about it, but the Brits bet on everything. Everything.
Except for good food.
No, you know what? That's the old days. I mean, they
I feel like they
have great
stepped
cuisine
up.
now because they figured out they were close to Europe, and they were like, "Hey, let's get some of those guys to come over here."
And I'm not gonna lie, I know like a lot of people give them a hard time, but I like a meat pie.
It's dull.
I love a meat pie.
And when you ate that English breakfast the other day, I couldn't even look at you.
It was pretty good. A little weird with beans with eggs, but I liked it.
You ate the English breakfast, and then your guy had a frilly waffle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's going on in this family?
I know.
They're gender neutral. My
I'm
mom
one of
was
those
right.
modern parents. I had to be like, I don't think it works like that. She's like, you're not gonna like give your kid a gender. I was like, no,
It just happens overnight.
Yeah.
They think everybody does it. There's like fucking Chris when he said every bar is throwing axes now when one was.
It made me
But that's
so
all it takes. The hype.
mad. And it made me so mad someone living in Queens being like every Brooklyn bar has these axe throwing. And I'm like, no, dude.
It's rampant.
I know I've been out of the bar scene for a couple of months, but I assure you it hasn't changed much.
Let's see. It looks like Flathead's saying ambulance is a Pittsburgh thing. I've always found it to be a black thing. Ambulance.
I just thought it was just generally urban.
Yeah, that's what we mean when we say
Yeah.
urban. You take Vito. He's an Italian kid, but he's been very exposed to urban culture.
Right.
Do you even have one white buddy?
No full whites. I have one mixed white friend, but for the most part, it's all blacks, Asians, Hispanics.
We don't use the word mulatto anymore.
Terrible.
Well,
Is it?
Bobby Kelly does.
Yeah.
Or at least Dan the Disher. I don't know. We have to vote on that.
That was a terrible
I
name.
wasn't happy
David
with
Dish.
it. David Dish.
David Duke is more like it.
Dan the Disher would be one of Dan's characters.
Hi! I'm dead Dish!
And now here's my other character. Hi! They were barely different.
You know what Dan's character should be? Human carp. He honestly breathes like a fish that just flopped on the boat.
Whenever he's breathing like that, I'm always just like, should I just move the mic out of the way?
Yeah. Just take your finger and open up one of his gills. Just let the air get in there.
I called him active shooter Dan for a while.
Hey,
he
come
did.
on. It's too soon.
I told him that
It's
was
too fucking soon, dude.
not a good nickname.
Columbine was just a few weeks ago. Tom Papa en masse. Go to theibank.com for your chance at free tickets. His new book, Your Dad Stole My Rake and Other Family Dilemmas. En masse with Tom Papa. Tuesday, June 5th, 6 p.m., the Village Underground in New York City. In New York City! Standing on a corner, me and Yoko Ono. Hey, Ray.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, Ray?
Not much.
What's a shame about Ray?
Hey, as much as you're right about Vito maybe giving up a little bit too soon on stuff. I got to defend him on the Fortnite thing, and I've tried playing that game, and it's impossible. It's impossible if you're not very good at the game to begin with, or just have that knack.
You know what
My
else
kid
is?
tried to teach me. It's
Every other game. Every other game is hard, but when you're little, you don't care. I think one of the hardest things in the world is catching a ball off of a bat. Just
Yeah.
the fucking a bat. Now, I wouldn't even know where I know that the ball's going to be. You know what I mean? But when you're little and then somebody hits a ball and you're just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? You're running right, it's going left. But you only do that because your fucking little heart is so open. You just keep running. You don't cry at every mistake.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're going like, fuck, I'm judging these fucking balls pretty well.
People, adults really use their adulthood to say, like, I don't think I need to try at something. You hear
I'm no
it a
good
lot.
at that.
Like, they're like, oh, I don't do that. You know what I mean? If somebody's like, hey, hey, we're going to go jet skiing today. They're like, oh, no, that's not something I do. And it's like, yeah, that's why we brought it up. We thought we would maybe do it.
Horses and me do not get along.
Have you ever rode a horse?
I was on a horse once and it started to move backwards and I just jumped off.
Like,
They give up.
yeah, they really do.
They give the fuck up. Adults, they suck. A kid fucking just goes out and does shit
Yeah.
over and over. But an adult, they expect everything to come to them or they quit.
And also, I don't think even though like school was difficult in the way that like, all the social stuff that goes with it, but it's not nearly as difficult as being an adult because you overthink social interactions way more. You know what I mean? Like adults are like, I don't know where I jump into this thing, or I'm not going to go there. I don't know those people. Kids don't really think like that.
This fucking sweet butter I told you about, I almost want to choke this little girl out because she's with this group of people and, she comes from outside of New York. She's in some high-end place. They're all, pirates. And she's constantly trying to jump in instead of just fucking observing for a while. Just be part of it. Run with the pack. Don't try to lead the pack every fucking 5 minutes. Be like Chris. He didn't know how to jerk off on his mom, and now he can.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, but, as much as I wanted to while she was alive.
Why don't you go to her grave, spank on it?
No grave. Just ashes.
Where'd you
right.
put
You
him?
wouldn't put up the money, would you, for a nice Catholic funeral?
All by myself.
Yes. You should have went in debt for that. Got your mom a beautiful mausoleum.
Nothing but the best for my mom.
My mom deserves the best.
A mausoleum. And he's just like in terrible debt. He's like, well, I got this. I have no property to my name except for a mausoleum.
I go out there every single night. I put a rose in front of her every night. When I was a kid, my mom made the pasta fazool. And when our clothes were dirty, she would wash them. Every day, my mom would go out to the mailbox and get the mail. She was a saint! Never speak ill of my mother again. I'll kill you. People are always doing that thing, like their parents did something special.
Yeah. And anytime someone passes away, they always move into sainthood. It's rare that people are like, we had some good times with that guy, but kind of a pain in the ass. People don't really do that.
Complicated man.
You know what I mean? He had some bad days. A lot of them.
He never could figure out how to change the channel with the clicker. He was stupid that way. Stupid, petty man. Here lies a very stupid, incredibly petty man. A man who would fall asleep in front of the TV every single night. And then when we tried to wake him, he'd scream, "I'm up!" He never learned to make his own breakfast. Used to leave his socks in the hall. This was a man. No, they were always the fucking best that ever happened. One time my dad took me to a ball game. Wasn't he going anyway? Yeah, he was. His friend didn't want to go and he had an extra ticket. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, life is so strange, isn't it, at the end of the day? At the end of the day, I wouldn't think I'd get this far into life for going like this. I'm not sure how it works. Seems stupid, though. And they always say, like, no one sits around and talks about, like, their possessions or, you know what I mean, what they achieved. Well, if I believe that. I think a lot of people, their last words were, I bought a lot of stuff. A lot more stuff than anyone in my family. I saw a charade yelling at a young kid for not having Bluetooth to listening to his rap with a wire. Trey was just grabbing his wire. What's with the fucking wire, man? The guy was like making excuses.
I don't like those Bluetooth, and I don't like the new headphones that look like they should have a wire in them. It always weirds me out.
The Apple AirPods.
I do not like the way they look. They really creep me out.
I don't get how they.
Because it looks like little Frankenstein things, like sticking out of your ear.
I know. And then if it falls out, where does it go?
Yeah.
It's like having a fucking contact for your ear.
The wire helps me keep track of the thing I need.
And it gives me like just going like this. Oh, it's all fucking in a big mess now, isn't it? Well, it's going to be my job to get rid of. I'll take another 5 minutes of my life. untangling this. Look, every commercial is about some drug.
All of them.
Every fuck commercial is a drug.
I have a friend from Sweden who was just saying, like, that was the thing that she thought was really weird when she came here, was seeing drugs being advertised.
Tell your friend, I think it's weird you people eat fish heads. How's that for fucking weirdness?
I didn't know you were going to take such offense.
Well, you know what? Sweden, get a brunette. Is that so fucking hard?
She's as blonde could be. I mean, the blondest hair I've ever seen on a human.
Of course.
It's like almost see-through.
And we're just addicted to that blonde hair thing.
Yeah.
Americans just see blonde hair and they're like, so hot.
Beauty.
So beautiful, their blonde hair. Blue eyes, blonde hair, fucking big Nazi walk. I forget who brought this up the other day. Maybe I saw it on TV. Oh yeah, I think it was on Atlanta. It's another weird thing people say. Atlanta. Are black people brunettes?
I would have said yes, but I remember that was like a debate on there. Like, are you not a brunette? Is that only something you say for a Caucasian person? I don't know. I guess I would have assumed that we're all like, if you have brown hair and someone who's black who has dark hair, like I felt like we were all in the brunette family.
Well, is black hair a brunette? I never know
because it's like there's brown. It's like a brown tones to it.
Black hair, like jet black, like Elvis.
Oh,
like shoe polish hair.
Yeah, I would assume that's on the darker end of the brunette spectrum.
You got blondes, you got brunettes, and then you just have a very small amount of redheads.
Yes,
that's
and
it?
The majority of humans are brunettes.
Like Chinese people are brunettes.
I thought so, yeah. I would assume that, again, they usually have, like, really dark hair. I would say that is on the darker end of the brunette spectrum.
And if you see a blonde Asian, they dyed their hair.
Yeah. Although, like, unless sometimes, like, in a mixed race situation, sometimes they could get blonde hair from someone else in their bloodline.
Like
but
a
then
GI
still
daddy.
Yeah.
Some GI daddy from California.
Like, my friends had a baby, and she's like an Asian ginger. Because her dad kind of has red hair, but she has her mom's features, but then reddish hair. It's very unique looking.
It is unique. Probably the other kids kick her.
What are you?
Figure it out.
Pick a side.
What percentage of the planet are blondes?
It's got to be pretty
Peter,
small.
look that up very quickly. Let's take a guess right now, Chris.
I'm going to say 19% of the population.
Oh, I was going to say like 8%.
I'm going to go even smaller. I'm going to go 4%. Pure blonde, not the dirty blonde,
Yeah,
which to me
I
is
love
brunette.
when somebody says, oh, dirty blonde. And you're like, you have light brown hair, bro.
By the way, my sister used to say that to me when I was when I was a little kid. He's got dirty blonde hair. Well, it was just the summer.
Highlights.
What do you got, Vito? All you had to put in what percentage is the world is blonde.
It's not coming up. I got brunette came up, but I didn't even look.
Well, what is that?
1/5.
No way.
No, you're not looking right. There's not 1/5.
You're a drunk. Why don't you have some more booze?
And not in the U.S.
2% are naturally light blonde.
In
Thank
the U.S.
you.
In the U.S.
4% is what I had.
This is just the overall population.
Yeah, I mean, we don't believe in borders when it comes to this.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We got to go the world.
Brunettes are 70%.
Well, really? Because I heard a couple minutes ago they were 20%.
Yeah.
Fucking liar.
And red is the least common at 1 to 2%.
That's a lot, I think.
Yeah. What did Chris say? Like 20%?
I said 19% for blondes.
Yeah,
That's crazy. What
he goes
about
by
all
Lady-
the countries that have zero blonde people?
He's going by Lady Clairol.
So then by that then they're considering someone with black hair then on the darker end of the brunette spectrum.
Yeah, they're not saying like Elvis hair. Brunettes is everything from black. Wait, we're missing a lot of percentages then. I guess it's a lot of those rainbow colored hair that you see in the Lower East Side. Well, the amount of women now who just have color hair that doesn't exist has got to be an all-time high.
Yeah.
You see a lot of green, you see blue.
Pink.
Mhm.
Okay, pink. Yeah, Chris. I mean,
Yeah,
can
we
run through
just
every
listed the
fucking color.
colors.
You know what I'd like to see you do?
What's that?
Run with the ball instead of fucking carry.
Purple. No one said purple.
Chartreuse. Chartreuse color. Sometimes, Chris, you come across as the biggest racist.
I don't mean to come off like that.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Really? Because you're acting like there's 20% blonde people in the world.
Or I was off on those numbers.
You and Hitler. If you and
You said
Hitler
you
had your
wish.
ways. Tom? Tom,
Yeah.
what do you got, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Gingers. Gingers are the 1% of the world. And also, the crazy thing about us is that, like, painkillers and stuff like that do not work on us as well as everyone else.
Well, I know that for a fact. One day, Eastside
fucking
Dave
right
was
you do.
getting spanked, and he was just shrieking, just going fucking crazy. And I'm like, stop overacting, dude. We're trying to do a fucking bit. And it really did hurt him that much. And then another time, Jay Moore came in, and I don't know, we were doing something with hot sauce, and he put it down Dave's pants, and Dave had to go to the hospital from a regular over-the-counter hot sauce touching his skin.
Oh my God. They're so sensitive.
Very sensitive people.
Oh, they have that skin of theirs is very, it's like pure white. White as driven snow.
It's cheesecloth. This is what their skin is made out of. It's just fucking horrific.
I couldn't live like that. Isn't the world painful enough for us brunettes?
Us Bruins, as we like to call ourselves.
What's
The
up, my
Bruins.
Bruno?
Big story up on the iBank today. The AA show is no more. Anthony and Artie no longer working together. And it's not what you would think, creative differences. But Artie is going to work on his health for a while.
Oh, I did not know that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, best of luck to Artie.
Everybody loves Artie.
Yeah.
He's the favorite of the planet Earth. And when people say, you know who I love, I go, just say Artie. And that's where you're going with this. He's got a new book coming out on gambling. I think it's Gambling with His Health, the Artie Lang story. But, his stories are always so great. And so go read about it over at the iBang. And now Ant has a sidekick, but it's going to go back to being called the Cumia Show. And Keith the Cop has gotten a name tag that just says, ask me what I'm doing. I don't know. Ant's hilarious, though. He's going to do great. Well, he was doing great before Artie got there, but they were fun together.
Well, I wish Artie the best.
Everybody does. Yeah. Everybody does. I don't know whether you can do a brain transplant, but it might be really helpful. Well, I'm reading that Robin Williams book, and when he just suddenly, he's 20 years clean and sober. 20 fucking years. And something came out, like a movie sucked or something, and then he was up shooting Insomnia in Alaska, and he just looks over and sees one of those like little tiny whiskey bottles and goes, I'll just have this too. You know what I mean? Wow. And then he was just boom, off to the fucking races after that. But 20 years.
Weird. And just like a simple thing
of like, oh, that looks good.
I guess I'll have that.
Yeah. And Chris is always saying to me, like Chris will be having a fucking drink, and he goes, "You want to just finish this for me?" And I go, "I can't, Chris."
What the fuck?
I don't know.
He told me I could have one sip.
Why would you say that to him, Christopher?
Like my mom.
Oh no.
He says that every time.
I'm in danger.
Says Christopher. Christopher, why couldn't I had a nice Catholic funeral, Christopher? No. Why? Why are you so cheap that you couldn't have given your mom a beautiful mausoleum?
All she wanted was that mausoleum.
I know, I couldn't.
Mausoleum Figaro. Hey, Chris in Indiana.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that difference in percentages maybe was accounting for the people who are bald.
Well, baldness is more accepted now than ever in the history of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Although I do see men getting weird where they mention other people's appearances. I'm like, if there's one thing that we could win at in this world during the Me Too union, it's just like not caring what another guy does. What fucking Vito does with his stupid hair, what Chris does, whether a guy fucking has a mohawk.
Yeah, but men can't help themselves. They're in the debate at all times.
It's constant. It's fucking constant. And that is the most effeminate thing that's ever happened to us, I believe. That now we start to worry about style.
Yeah.
We weren't that way. Men basically wore a uniform for many, many years. You know what I mean?
I know a lot of men in my life who that's like one of their least favorite things is like people commenting too much on their physical changes or like stuff like that. And I always thought it was men had it really rough because everyone, if you change anything about your style or you change your hair, like people feel the need to like comment, like, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? Instead of...
I never do.
It's so strange. Instead of just letting that person like, oh, this guy wears a leather jacket now. Like, he wanted to buy this leather jacket. People accept that with women because they're like, oh, she like has a new style or she's doing a new thing or she dyed her hair, she cut it. You kind of accept that on women, but they're just like, what, are you trying to look different with a guy?
I will tell you right now, I don't care what a guy's hair look like. He could walk in with a shark fin where his hair used to be, and I wouldn't even notice. Hey, John, what's happening, buddy? Long time.
Hey, buddy, the show's great, man.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have been doing great. It sounds like it. I just wanted to say when you were saying about that Robin Williams book, I was 10 years, clean and sober, and my old man passed, and man, I thought, that little devil in my head just told me, maybe I could, this time I could handle it if it's just, maybe just for a week or something, a couple times, and next thing I know, like for maybe 6 months, it took me to get back on the wagon, and man, within like 2 weeks, I was right back where I was. I mean, just a complete mess.
I don't know. Maybe I could just do it. You know what I mean?
No,
maybe I
he
could
just explained you can't.
I mean, the way he made it sound like he did have a couple weeks there.
No.
And all you gotta do is fix it before that gets out.
No.
And it's now understanding that no matter how old I am and no matter what, I don't go into the program or anything, but to know that, no matter what, I'll always be a dry drunk. I'm still a drunk. I'll just be a dry drunk, and have to, just have to stay clean and have to stay away from it. That's all.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, man. Show's great.
Thanks.
Take care.
Later.
We were talking. I was thinking John has listened for a long time. He's a great guy, and Janice is one of our great callers of all time, and we haven't heard from her for a long time. So I'm like, Chris, this has got me nervous. I talked to you about it.
Yep.
So over the weekend, and we went back looking, and we found her phone number, and we called it, and Janice's phone just rings and rings and rings. So over the weekend, Chris calls the cops and gets them to drive over to her house, which I don't know if a radio show's ever done that before. It seems like it's crossing a line. Because Gail said the other day, maybe she just stopped liking the show. And I go, that would be great. You know what I mean? I don't want us to, I just want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And
but if that was the reason, it would be really funny to have to be like, yeah, go ahead and tell them that I just don't enjoy it anymore. I mean, one of them said something about Trump I didn't enjoy.
I think they've gotten too political and every day. And when they came up with that game show, Are You Smarter Than a Trump Voter? I started to get my feelings hurt. So anyway, the cop goes there and there's no answer at her apartment. And then he asks the neighbors, And then they said she's in the hospital, but she's okay.
Yeah, this is she told the cop, and the cop told me that that she's okay. Her family knows where she is, but she's just been in the hospital.
So then Chris and I started going, all right, where's she live? Oh, there's 3 hospitals close. So she's got to be in one of them. So we're both checking back and forth, and we're like, oh no. I go, we'll pick it up on Monday. So Vito's helping. We're up to 30 hospitals before it dawns on us. She's probably at some rehabilitation place, which you find out there's millions of them.
Right. Yeah. Those are all over the place. And you never know with whatever she's going through. It could be something that's specialized. We don't know.
Right. Could be a hip, could be a lung. How are we supposed to know? So then you said somebody must be picking up her mail.
Yes.
So now we're going to send her a postcard.
Yeah, postcard, yeah.
Did we got a postcard yet?
We do not have a postcard yet. We'll have one by the end of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you didn't have it today.
No.
In all the time leading up to today. No. But we could just put our names on it and then somebody will see it.
Yes.
And give it to her.
Exactly.
But if we send her a letter, they'll probably just put it with her other letters.
Right.
But where's that postcard at?
You said we'd have it in 30 seconds.
So you meant after the show?
By the end, yeah.
Not by the end. It's going to be after the show. You don't have the people to run out.
I mean, I need to gather my thoughts on what I'm going to say. Hey, Janice, I'm on the air right now.
Janice,
Chris didn't give us a lot of time.
Janice, you believe Roseanne's back? Sorry about that Trump stuff. You're right.
Yeah, but we're thinking of her for sure.
Weird though, right?
Mm-hmm. And it made it so difficult because she's not a social media person. Normally we just put one of if it's a social media person, we just put someone else on it. Like, take care of this for us.
I was on Pal Talk last night asking around if anybody knew her. I found that I was the only person there. At one point, we thought Pal Talk was going to change the whole world. And then I started a thing called Pup Talk, where you could just take your small dog and put it on with other people. It's
adorable.
That is so cute.
No, it's not working.
Why not?
People just don't want to have their pups meet other pups through visuals. I think the VR thing is going to be big.
Yeah.
I think in the future you won't even leave your house; you'll just VR out there.
Yeah. And then we could send a VR postcard to Janice.
Yeah, she'll get in her VR mail.
No, it's just regular mail.
VR mail? What are you, nuts? I'll be like Janice, as you can see all around this room right now. And you can go anywhere and explore all you want to.
Yeah.
The couch over there, another chair. You see, we have 6 TV sets in a very small room.
Andrew's gifts are over here if you want to just take a look.
Look at that, Basquiat. Look who it is. Yeah.
Gail, be careful. I don't want you going to labor by saying Johnny that
You
way.
know something, Johnny? I think the Giants' year is coming up. I really do. I think it's going to be their year.
Too early to start thinking about that shit. Come
the
on, the Yankees are on a
Giants'
roll. I'm worried about...
I watched this Prime thing on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So rich. So wealthy. Like, literally... Jerry Jones could have been on the Flintstones as the fucking Texas guy with a really long car. They're so rich. Their practice field is $1.6 billion. What the fuck? And it's just unbelievable.
Jesus. What do you need your practice field to be that fancy for?
And they're making money off of it somehow. I don't even understand it.
Off of the practice?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
There's a hospital at the practice field that people can go to and look out the window and watch the Cowboys practice.
Now that's rich.
Eli, what did he do? He was in the news today. Did he plead guilty?
They all right. So the thing was that he was getting game helmets and selling them as if he wore them, but he didn't. But they came to agreement. But they came to agreement that he is of no wrongdoing and didn't go to trial. So I'm sure they just paid off someone.
Yeah, they paid out They paid out, and supposedly it was the equipment manager who was doing all of this.
So Eli had nothing to do with it?
Well, there were some text messages where Eli had texted the equipment manager saying, "I need a couple helmets to pass as game worn."
But he must have signed them, right? Why would you want a helmet that wasn't signed?
Yeah.
You don't want to wear it. You want to fucking display it.
Oh, someone wants to wear it.
My head
run
was
around
where his
town.
head was.
Run around town just wearing a Giants helmet. It's pretty kind of cool.
This was Eli's only controversy in his entire career. And it
That's so
was
squeaky clean.
give it out. Yeah, I mean, he goes around raising money for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really a sweet guy. You know, giant fucking head, stack of dime neck. I mean, it's sad. It's sad.
Very, very horrible, effeminate stance on the field when he stands with his hands on his hip.
Yeah, he does. He
He's
does.
sassy.
Yeah, he does the thing where one hip goes one way and he hands out there. It's like when like a young girl's trying to push her pussy out. Well,
that Manning pussy.
All right, stop it, Johnny. That's disgusting.
Yikes. There's a baby present.
Johnny, was there a reason you called us today? Or did you want to talk about Elvis's pants, or what was it?
No. Well, I will say that if you happen to stop by the Hard Rock anytime this week, you'll see a guitar that's going to be auctioned off on Saturday that was owned by one Mr. Robbie Robertson.
Oh, cool.
Played by Dylan and Clapton.
And everyone who stops by gets a chance to play it themselves?
No, it's cased up. You cannot touch it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's probably going to sell could go for over $1 million.
Robbie Robertson's guitar.
It's crazy.
In the meantime, he can't get an album released.
But he's going to make a lot of money on a guitar.
Is that his?
Yeah, it's his. Yeah.
Nobody else owned it?
He owned it, but it was used at Monterey. It was used at Woodstock.
Because he wasn't at Monterey, Johnny. Let's be.
Sorry, yes, that was the wrong one.
Not start some fucking Eli Manning bullshit.
I need it to look like I played it at Monterey.
Pulled in to Nazareth. I feel about a half past dead.
But I called because I see that there's going to be a special U2 concert at the Apollo, so I'm going to see if I can get a ticket to go for the first 3 songs.
You're going to hear fucking Angel of Harlem and then leave.
You're sick, Johnny. It's not right.
$100, that's what they all open with, right? Angel of Harlem?
Yeah. Probably. They've got to.
Are you going to be too pregnant for that show?
When is it?
No, I'll be fine.
Johnny.
Oh, sorry. It's June 11th. So, Jay, you may be too pregnant. I'll go instead of you, Gail.
I'm going to go. I know I got something planned for Juneteenth this year, too. Very high end.
So I'm going to tell you. So, I do like to enjoy leaving a concert early.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks ago, I went to a charity event that is involved with Bruce Springsteen. So they had Danny Clinch, who's the rock and roll photographer, as a blues band. So, we were there. We're hanging out at the Tribeca Grill. Very nice event. And at about 10 o'clock, my wife and I look at each other and say, let's leave. Springsteen was there. They said he wasn't going to play. So we leave. About a half an hour after I leave, Eddie Vedder shows up and plays 3 songs with the band.
Wow.
I am now no longer will leave anything early. I can't because my favorite singer from my favorite band played in a room with 100 people. And I left early.
I never understand why you leave early.
I don't know why you do it.
No, I really had nowhere to go except my couch. I
gets
don't know
antsy.
why.
And you know what? He Irish goodbyes when he leaves too. He doesn't even tell you. Like, he invited us out for that beautiful Guns N' Roses show. And we're there, and then we turn around, and Johnny Go-Go's like, he's gone. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he does that. I'm like, he didn't even say bye?
Nope.
This is what fucking got to me when I was in Jersey doing stand-up. Johnny Go-Go's like, Hard Rock Johnny's on his way here. I go, you're fucking kidding me. I go, I've never seen him anywhere but my place or his place. That's it. And then same thing as always, when you're talking to yourself and nobody's home.
I swear to God, I left. I was at Providence on Friday. I left Providence Saturday afternoon, got home at 4:30. My wife and I got ready to go, and as we're driving down Route 80, I hit a pothole the size of Cleveland and got a flat tire and couldn't
Johnny,
go.
if you were the kind of guy who showed up places, we'd all believe this story.
You'd believe
But you're a guy who's got a fistful of excuses.
I could show you the $500 invoice for my new fucking tire.
I think that you would blow up your tire just to fucking not go.
I was so pissed off. I was like, I'm finally going to go. Ronnie's going to see me in the audience.
I'm gonna go
"Holy Christ,
crazy."
Look at, he actually came.
I would have started fucking crying.
I still have my tickets in my email. I
And
paid for
here's the
stupid
thing.
tickets.
When I brought Eddie Vedder on stage,
Did he sing? Yeah.
I did not know that Eddie Vedder was anyone's favorite singer. Look, he has done more with less. I will give him that. There's zero range to that voice.
Yeah.
I'll give you another one. Bono doesn't have a lot of range.
No, Bono's actually quite a simple voice.
An average singer. And yet he's been able to hold on as a rock star for, I believe it's 300 years now.
I have a pair of his pants here, I think.
Great mashup.
Yeah. Like, I do mashups like the kids like. How you liking this weather, Johnny? You ready to start crabbing?
Oh, yeah, crabs. I already started buying chicken backs. Got them in a freezer ready to defrost them as soon as Memorial Day hits.
You wait till Memorial Day, even if the weather breaks before that?
Well, I won't be down ashore until Memorial Day. I can't go down before.
Oh, you won't allow yourself.
No, it's a special. You go down for your first weekend is Memorial Day weekend. It'd be special.
You are so conservative, my friend.
I know. He likes things
Literally.
just so.
Every year we leave on Labor Day and we're like, we'll come down in October, November. I've never seen October, November, anything but May through September at that house.
And he's like, let's get out of here. It's Labor Day.
Gotta leave. I leave the weekend before Labor Day, actually.
Every year, I mean, there's some people. Black girl will not wear white after birth. He just won't do it.
So
He
funny.
says a pre-birth baby heaven look. It is so well told. What, do you deserve to be alive? And then who do you ask whether you should be alive or not? Not even fucking making sense, kid. So what? Your dad didn't like you. Most people's dads don't like them very much. They don't go spending the rest of their life fucking wearing flannel and whining about it. Hear me, hear. Johnny, that's really your favorite singer.
Well, I mean, he's from my favorite band. I mean, Pearl Jam is my favorite band, so I guess he would be my favorite singer then, by default.
No, not necessarily. I mean, the Beatles aren't Ringo isn't my favorite drummer.
Why not?
Well, Beatles aren't my favorite band.
There you go. See? You can't figure it out yet.
They've fallen out of the top 10 for me right now.
Really?
I have Outkast higher than the Beatles.
I don't blame you.
I'm very surprised. The Black Beatles. Is there a Black Rolling Stones?
Huh.
I would say NWA is the Black Rolling
Well,
Stones.
that's pretty cool, yeah.
Thanks.
Then
Is there a
who'd be the
Black Pink
Beatles?
Floyd?
Who's like experimental enough to be like
Jimi
Black?
Hendrix? Could we go Jimi Hendrix? Great buddy Miles. Look, everybody's falling
Yeah,
apart
I
on
know.
this. I can see everyone's like,
I'm
"Ah, I don't know. I like Childish Gambino, you know." All right, go ahead, Vito. Say it.
Well, I mean, Awaken My Love is a fantastic album.
No, you fucking have a news story today.
Oh, he ended Drake's 15-week run on top of the Billboard charts and debuted at #1.
Now,
nice.
Has anyone heard the #1 song for the last 15 weeks? Because I haven't.
I have not.
It's a call me on your cell phone. Let that one.
That's still the hit?
I don't wanna Look at that lava spurting around like tomato sauce.
Kind of does look a little bit delicious.
When I heard that,
Starving.
I thought that could have been a Johnny's crab spot.
You do crabs in the sauce?
Yeah, he puts it in
Of
his
course.
sauce. He likes it so much in his sauce.
Not always.
Yeah. He eats crabs and chicken backs every single weekend. How many people are in that place, Johnny? 80?
No, it's just my family.
Yes, 80.
No, it's like on a big weekend, it's like 13, 14.
Mama, come here, look who's looking through my window.
It's a butcher boy and he wants to marry me.
Oh, mama, what a big one that he's got.
It's a big place, though. I mean, it's not like a little
It was
bungalow.
a fucking tiny place, Johnny.
What's the matter, you?
Hey! Get out of my face. Oh, great songs, Johnny. Great songs.
His favorite
Pearl
singer.
Jam. That's Pearl Jam.
He sang that once when I went to a concert.
Why you looking so sad? It's not so bad.
Italian, son, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Kill your own, won't you? Over $1. Johnny, I had to take a break. I haven't broke yet.
Well, listen, you have a good break.
All right. See you at the big U2 show, all right, Johnny?
Goodbye, Bennington.
Take care, my
Peace.
friend. Goodbye, Johnny.
Hey, Jenny.
Goodbye, Jenny.
Sweet Johnny.
Johnny, are you queer boy?
Johnny, are you know, Johnny? How come we don't play that every time Johnny calls?
That's crazy not to. And how come we don't have Hello Fresh
I know.
every time Johnny's in? Next time you go to the grocery store, pay attention to how long it takes. Actually, don't waste your time. I'll tell you, too long. It's 2018. The days of going to the grocery store, battling for a parking space, and searching high and low for some obscure ingredient are over.
It's time to say hello to HelloFresh, the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking healthy, delicious meals fun, easy, and convenient. Just go to HelloFresh.com, pick out the recipes you want. They're delivered directly to your doorstep. They come every week in a special insulated box, along with easy-to-follow step-by-step instructions and full-color pictures.
Each HelloFresh box includes fresh, seasonal ingredients that are perfectly portioned. No wondering if you got the right amount, no waste. Just delicious meals that you can make in 30 minutes or less.
And for a limited time, you can get $30 off your first box when you go to HelloFresh.com/raw plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/raw for $30 off.
HelloFresh.com/raw.
Hashtag Bennington. Come wet your beak.
Bennington Show. Hey, we're doing an Unmasked with Tom Papa. Tuesday, June 5th, 6 p.m. in the Village Underground in New York City. Go to the iBank.com for a chance at free tickets. Going to be a great night, though. So come into New York City, see Tom Papa with us. Go to the iBank.com for free tickets. I was looking at this story up on the iBank today that there's some mom shaming going on with Megan Fox. And it's because she had her kids on Instagram. And her two little boys have long hair, long curly hair. And I'm like, keep going, Chris, please. Get to the long curly hair. There they are. So they're like little surfer
they're
dudes.
gorgeous.
Yeah, but they look like they should be singing for Red Hot Chili Peppers. So here's the problem. It's not that, oh, you got hippie kids. They're saying, oh, you're letting them be girls. You're a gender neutral, blah, blah, blah.
First of all, when your kid has gorgeous hair, whether you have a boy or a girl, it's really difficult. I've heard from moms, it's really difficult to cut it because they're like, it's a marker of their age and the time. Right. And then you love everything about your kid. So you're just like, oh, look at this long, beautiful hair that they grow. Because you know how just like kid hair is
Right.
like the best?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like beautiful and shiny and it's just perfect.
When I was a little kid, I had curls, and like all the old ladies loved my hair.
Yeah.
No one my own age did. But my mom just let my hair go like a fucking bird's nest. And then, like, I think it was like, I don't know, my dad says I'm taking him to the barber with me today. My mom couldn't even go.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking
But
for
it's
moms.
not, it's that, like, that always happened no matter what age. Little boys had long hair.
Yes,
because
100%.
the moms loved it.
My brother had long, beautiful curly hair until he was like of like school age, and then it was like that thing that you're like, I guess you kind of have to do it. But he had like the most beautiful
Like
hair.
a wild child, like he was a lost boy.
And like the curls, like, oh my God. I don't even know how somebody could see this and act like this is something different
It's because
or
of the
weird.
fucking internet. Like, even if 2% of the people are dicks, 98% of the people aren't going to write good stuff. They just don't.
Yeah. 100. Yeah. It's very irritating,
Mm.
but that's what you're going to get. You put something out there, and there's always going to be people who are like, it would take me a long time to figure out if you said to me, this picture was posted, what do people have a problem with it? I'd be like, the wetsuits, not safe for a child. I would be like trying to figure out. I would not think the boy's hair is too long.
Yeah.
They're so little. They're babies. Like,
Little girl babies, I guess. People are fucking stupid.
they're really weird. And also the things that people get upset and offended by with parenting and what people post. It's just like, let that shit go. It was like a pretty big deal because I think it was maybe Friday. There had been a couple groups who had been pushing for this for a long time, that Instagram has now finally agreed and approved that they will not censor birth photos. Because before, people could report a birth photo and say this is inappropriate, or a breastfeeding photo and people say this is inappropriate. So Instagram, and I think also Facebook, because they're connected, are now...
I wish they would get rid of birthday photos. That's my big problem.
Yeah. But but the reason this exists is not because a company finds it offensive.
Mhm.
It's because people see people giving birth, see women in childbirth, or see a woman breastfeeding, and then go, I find this offensive. And then they report it. And then people go, oh, well, this is popping up a lot. I guess we better censor it. It's such a weird thing that people are so concerned with other people's bodies,
If I go to
parenting.
anywhere and it says, is this offensive? I say yes, no matter what it is. I don't even check out what the content is. I just say offensive.
100% offensive to
I'm
me.
offended by everything. I've really fucking had it with everybody.
The point is, Megan Fox is one of those modern parents.
Yeah.
She didn't even give them a gender.
Look, if I'm offended by anything, it's her giant thumbs. Wasn't that a thing for a couple
Oh
years?
yeah,
Like,
she's got like a weird
hammer thumbs.
Yeah, like they kind of stop abruptly, even like they're squared and big. I
Mhm.
think.
She's got toe thumbs.
she has what I would call even cowgirls get the blues thumbs.
Yeah, that's an interesting thumb. Like the nail is in the placement of a toenail, not in the placement of a thumbnail.
Remember she came out, it was like, this is the most beautiful woman who's ever existed. And
Yeah.
then they just turned on her.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Bitch.
I guess those thumbs had something to do with it. But yeah, she was like overnight, like, oh, she's our sexiest human.
Yeah.
And then people just stopped paying attention to her.
Yeah, you only keep the sexiest girl thing for like 6 months.
Yeah, you don't get
Tops.
it. You don't get it for very long.
How long did Jen have it for? Did she know? Vito, how about you? How long have you heard your sexiest man alive? By the way, I watched HQ was on The Voice last night. I didn't see that.
Oh wow!
But then he brought the voice stars in, and they came across as obnoxious.
Really?
Like
obnoxious.
they had a bit for them to like, hey, shut up, Scott. You know, but you're just like, get off our fucking show.
Yeah, this is our place to enjoy.
I forget what the big guy's name is. I think it's Graham Parsons. I think it's the Flying Burrito Brothers, Graham Parsons. No, but it's a country guy. I think his name is Knapsack or something. I don't know who he is, but he's dating the little blonde girl from the 90s.
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Okay, yeah. So he's the country guy who's with Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
And and he was voted sexiest man.
That's what he was yelling.
Yeah.
I'm the sexiest man. You better remember that. Stop playing my songs, you weirdo. Is anybody even watching this? I'm like, oh, this is not going well.
Yeah, I don't know how that came through because that didn't really make any sense.
That didn't work.
Like, according to who is he the sexiest man?
And by the way, they did not get a bump from being on that fucking chair show. I would actually say this. It was a little lower than I'm used to doing. But if you tune in tonight, they're giving away a ticket to the end of, they call it the chair singing show, I think is the name of
Nice.
it. You motherfucker.
He was really in Scott's face.
He was. And it was all supposed to be in fun. But you
Yeah,
could just
but
tell he's not a
people
good
who
person.
don't- yeah,
What's Gwen Stefani thinking?
I don't know.
I don't want to turn this into Dish, but oh, how the mighty have fallen. Holler back, girl. When I holler to you, you better holler back, girl.
And, I think anyone who was young in that era, it's just like Gavin Rossdale to that dude. That does not make sense.
No, he was the guy, right?
Oh, yeah. He was like, he had his pretty boy moment.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, the band did not go past like, I think an album or two.
I only know the one fucking song.
Yeah.
Listerine, I think. Is the name of
Listerine.
My breath's bad. What are you looking up, Vito?
I just want
Gwen
to see
Stefani?
I want to see what Gavin Rossdale looks like.
Oh, you never saw him before?
I've never seen the face, but I know Bush.
Oh, you know his bush, but you don't know his face?
Oh.
He's as pretty all get out. You have to look at 90s,
Yeah,
not today.
I mean, not today.
Jesus
I mean, who
Christ.
cares?
Look up
Oh my God. That's enough to make you jerk off on a bus next to your mom.
Well, I would jerk off next to Chris's mom. I'm sure she'd give me the finish I was looking for. So long. Yeah, but his time came and went fairly quick.
Very quickly.
All the late 90s people
Yeah.
did.
Look at there he is in Teen Bop.
I think Kid Rock is the only person who made it out of the late 90s, and that's because he matured into some kind of a down-home redneck singer, and it's worked for him.
Yeah. He has been able to have a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
People followed him along for the ride.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? He just keeps reinventing. He's the David Bowie of the wealthy part of Detroit. And he's never really left Detroit, right? And even though he acts like he's from down home.
Yeah. He acts like he's a Southern boy.
Yeah. A lot of people from Detroit, they have Confederate flags.
I've been sitting here.
The whole fucking thing looks like the TV show Justified, no matter which way you fucking shake a stick at it. Oh, that lawyer looks like Matt Lauer.
On the right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
He's Stormy Daniels.
I think he looks like Ari Shaffir.
No, that's just saying he looks Jewish, and that's
Just
wrong.
saying. I think he does.
Still, I mean, that's a form of racism.
I don't think it is. They really look alike.
Mhm.
Don't you guys see it in
They
the
all do.
eyes?
Yeah, and the curl. Chris Stanley, you've been yelling in from the sidelines, but you haven't brought up a conversation starter today, and I don't know if you've ever done that on for the show.
Have you seen this? There's this picture that's gone viral around the internet of Super Mario without any hair on his face, and it looks incredible.
Isn't Super Mario a cartoon?
Yeah, it's like the video game character.
If someone just didn't draw him with a mustache, is what you're saying.
No, and without hair, and
Well, then put Bugs Bunny on without hair and see if everybody doesn't freak out.
that'd be if Bugs Bunny had no hair, I'd be really freaked.
I mean, if you're saying he doesn't even have eyebrows, anyone's going to look weird like that. Yeah, anyone's going to look weird like that.
You know what? It looked like Super Mario at age 2.
They could have at least given him brows.
I'm terrified by this picture. It's really creepy to me.
Don't be. It's not coming to get you.
Because I'm so used to fucking Mario with the
He's a cartoon.
I know, but
This is like if you got here before the animator finished it.
Super Mario.
No, you know what I'm figuring out? He's just making that up.
I'm not making this up.
I mean, it exists.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're freaked, no, you're a grown man.
I'm creeped out by this fucking hairless Mario.
Mario.
I like him.
You're contrarian with him.
No, I just like
just
him.
saying that.
I think he's more wind. He's gonna get better against the wind. He's got a better chance against Donkey Kong in those kart races. Hairless Mario's the best Mario.
Can I just say this? Keep it down in the back seat, children. This is not something that two men should be talking about together.
I haven't thought about Super Mario in years. And then this fucking picture shows up. I'm like, that's fucking creepy looking, and I don't like it at all.
Well, you just made it seem like you were thinking about Mario all the time.
Remember what I said to you? A conversation starter.
Yes.
Not ender.
So where did you think we were going to go with? The veto direction? I, for one, love Mario without a mustache.
I thought you'd be in agreement that this is a fucking.
Then that's not a starter.
Good point. I thought I would go in a different direction.
All right, so find a new thing.
Okay.
Is there anything on your mind without it being a fake Super Mario thing?
All right. So Lars can
I'm starting to figure out you're never going to host Dish. I don't think the time will come. But he has such energy from the outside.
Yeah, that is true. You do come with energy, just not when it's centered.
Not when it's your time to run. And I know you must do this on High Society, right?
I talk in High Society, yes.
Well, what would you say if this was High Society? Let's suppose we're your boys.
Okay, cool. Which one am I? Other Chris or?
I feel it more like another Chris.
Okay.
You're Bronx Johnny.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
Well, Bronx Gianni likes prostitutes. I would say Backpage.com was shut down. What are you going to do with your prostitute fucking problem now?
Wasn't that shut down a while ago or that just happened?
It happened again.
But even if I said his thing was to pitch it to the other guy.
Right. So now I have to be Johnny.
Yeah, I got
really...
to still pull, and then you yell from the outside. You got to do a thing where you're running the fucking show. You're captain of the fucking ship.
Okay. All right. So the Cannes Film Festival is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it just came out that Lars von Trier walked like 100 people.
Now, do you realize this is the same story every time he puts out a movie?
I remember this happening in his last film.
He walks people all the time.
Yeah. I remember Antichrist walked people.
Tons.
Yeah.
Tons.
And then I don't know, probably the sex one too.
Yeah.
That one I actually didn't see.
It's the same story, and then the people who stay say that he's a genius.
Yeah.
But that's his brand.
Look,
they say the Spike Lee thing went over big with the black KKK thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that.
Not Spike. You got to see it. Not even up to you.
But there's something I find interesting about Lars von Trier. It's just like, I have that exact feeling about Antichrist where I'm like, I don't know if I can ever see that movie again. But there were things about it that I thought were really cool and things about it that were really beautiful. There was a shot in that movie, like, I still think about now and again, just like how haunting it was. It's like this image of her moving through the woods, and I don't really understand what effect they're using or, like on a technical level, but it doesn't look like anything I had ever seen in a film before. It's just visually so unique.
They say that this is the weakest can that they've ever had.
Yeah.
And it's slowly getting worse because people have lost interest in what we would call films.
Yeah, I mean it's a really sad thing if we lose Ken.
Yeah, I no longer care. I mean, it has to do with people have made their choice. They like popcorn movies, and there's no sense of even debating it.
But do you think that there's a chance that it swings around in a different way?
Zero
really?
chance. People aren't going to get any smarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean,
look how we went from classical music to jazz to rock and roll to hip hop and now
pop
electronic dance.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going, and movies have gone the same way.
Right.
And I certainly am not going to sit around and, cry about it. Just happens.
Yeah, and I mean, like, great films do exist. Like, there were some great films last year, but it certainly is not the interest of the majority of people. It's not as sustainable as as a business as it once was.
Yeah. And even the great films that you're talking about, there were probably better TV shows. And you can imagine if you said that in the 60s or 70s, where TV was for people who didn't want to think, you know?
Yeah, that's so weird to think that the shift that happened there where like high art became TV shows and low art became
And I don't even know if they're as good as people say. It's just that we have nothing else to look at or talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think they're even as brilliant as people are talking about.
Right.
I don't think any of them are as, brilliant as some of our great films.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that happened is they were able to play with the form of like something episodic that they didn't really figure out before, and then we kind of mastered that, and now sometimes
I also think that we have better actors doing that than we used to.
Right,
you know
that
what I
is
mean?
true. That there's more money in it.
Yeah, and it's not just fucking Jethro Bodine and Potsy.
Right.
All right, I tried with Chris. He set it up. He dropped out. What about you, Vito? You gonna be the man?
Have you seen the proposal gone wrong video?
With the kid peeing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not something I'm, because the way the world is, it's not something I'm even comfortable with. You know what I mean?
It's like a child peeing?
Yeah.
So during a proposal, guy gets down on one knee, and all of a sudden his kid comes out of nowhere and just pulls his pants down and starts peeing right in the middle of the proposal.
Oh, God.
But there's a certain part of this that almost made me feel like it's a setup. Because how are they not paying attention to that?
Look at the pot belly.
Like the wife should not hear they should hear the piss.
Over the top.
I think it's gotta be a setup.
Yeah, I think it's a setup too.
Oh my god. You guys.
I thought they were just ignoring it because they didn't want the moment to be ruined.
And look, it ends right there. Show coming up. Come see Tom Papa Unmasked at the Village Underground in New York City. That's June 5th, 6 p.m. Go to the ibang.com, theibang.com for some tickets, free tickets to see the Unmasked. Now, I was using my phone today, and it was just squelching. Nobody could hear me, but I could hear perfectly. And then when I took my earplugs out, everybody could hear me.
Oh, weird. What? It was just like giving you feedback?
I didn't get any. The people I were talking to did.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Technology blows.
I'm telling you, they do this shit on purpose where they make things specifically that they will not last.
I know. I'm getting an Oculus helmet and getting rid of my phone. And if you want to talk to me, it's going to seem like we're in the same room together. And that room will be a room of cyberspace.
Nice. I think it's going to look similar to, when they showed up and like he asked Neo if he wanted the blue pill or the red pill. And it's just like the two of them like sitting in a room. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I want it to look like. That's a phone call from now on.
I think the future will be, do you want Mario with a mustache or without a mustache? That'll be the big thing that people wrestle with.
That's not an option that I'm willing to take on.
I'm freaked out with him with a mustache. Kills me. What is he doing with a mustache? Men with devices are scouring the White House for personal cell phones. Now, Fox did a story today that they feel like this is made up because it's knocked the Stormy Daniels down.
Really?
Yeah. Smart move.
Yeah. That's interesting. But I will say the idea of a leak, an inside leak, is always exciting.
Well, they said there's so many that you can't even tell who the leaker is. And then the New Yorker did a story that he and Hannity talk every night before they go to bed. They are just the best pals.
I just cannot imagine that.
I'd call Bill O'Reilly first.
Yeah, of course you would. Like, what am I going to talk to Hannity about?
They say Hannity loves steak, though, so they got that in common.
They both do like a nice steak. I wonder if he too eats it well done.
I don't know if there's a man alive who doesn't and say, this is a good steak, no matter what they're eating.
Yeah. Men really like steak.
They're crazy about steak.
And like me, it's just like, once in a while, I'll have a steak. That sounds nice.
I have this theory that if women go out together, they don't order steak. They will order steak with men, but never like girls. What do you say? The four of us go out and get a steak.
I'll be honest. If I'm with a group of women and if I'm feeling that way, like if for some reason I'm like, oh, I could eat a steak tonight, there's no way I would be doing it if I saw a bunch of like light, healthy things being ordered. I think I would look like a nut, but I would have no embarrassment because some man's getting a steak. If you're like with more than one man, at least one of them.
One of them is going to get a steak every single time. Getting the steak, and then the woman's like this. I'll just have a small piece of fish. What's the small? Do you have a goldfish? Give me a minnow and cut it in half. I'm not going to take the whole thing home. And put it on something leafy. I think I just saw Vito throw up into a napkin.
Oh, God. Vito, that was really gross.
He's a lunger.
What are you doing?
He's got some kind of TB that he's spitting up blood.
Oh, no. I can't do that. I can't handle that.
Now, here's the thing. I would say if there's some kind of 4 women who are junior executives out of a financial thing, they might try to go out for steak and cigars as a way of acting.
Try to like top each other. And by the way, I will also throw in that same mix, I will put like a burger on a menu if you're going to a lesser place. Like everyone kind of wants to get the burger when you're there with women. But I think it's not until like someone like finally fesses up. And then they got to make it like this is something I would never do.
Right.
But it's so weird. I think I'm going to get a burger. And then someone has to pretend like, oh, that's crazy. I might do that too. I mean, I was going to get a salad, but I think I might do. And we're like, why don't we just say we want fucking burger and fries because that's what we want.
Would 4 women pull into a Five Guys? This could be fun.
No.
Just pile on burgers.
No.
And by the same token, I don't think 4 guys would go out for salads.
Probably not. I had a friend of mine was saying like, she was saying, oh man, we had like the most embarrassing day because I never do this, but like we went and got fake tans because they were going somewhere. And she's like, and what's worse is that we went to Burger King afterwards. And my other friend was like, why the fuck would you say that? Like she was so mad. Like she felt like she had just been so embarrassed by her. And she's like, who else did you say that to? Like, why would you tell people that I went to?
Was it like saying I shit in a cup and then threw it out the window?
And like she was mortified. I was like, I'm not judging you that you guys went to Burger King after your...
I can't even remember the last time I went to Burger King. I felt like the barbecue taste or whatever was sprayed on. I felt like it was a regular fried burger and then they sprayed something.
You're actually better off with a McDonald's because like there is a fakeness in the flame broiled flavor that they're trying to do that it's just like it doesn't jive with me.
I saw I don't know who the celebrity was with McDonald's and they were trying to sell this big fat juicy burger and I'm like, you're too late, dude. You know what I mean? It's too late for you to act like you've got a Five Guys burger. You just don't. You just don't.
No. Yeah, you don't have it.
It's not a bad thing. It would be $15 if you did. And people don't want that either.
Yeah.
Come to McDonald's for our new $18 burger and fries.
No.
Big, thick, juicy burger.
Plus, I think that you like when you go back to that stuff when you're eating at fast food, you just want the comfort of whatever that taste was that you ate there when you were younger. Anyway, you don't really like. I don't want to try some new shit.
You want $1. Like people do go into McDonald's and they still stare like I'm not sure what I'm going to get. You know what you're going to get: quarter pounder with cheese, a Big Mac, one or the other.
I'm not a big fast food person, but since I have been pregnant, I've had a couple moments.
Wow, that's
like,
hilarious!
Just like, oh, I really want it, and it's like very serious.
Do you get
craving?
it?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
I went to McDonald's once, and then I also went to a Taco Bell, which was the first time I went to a Taco Bell, and I would guess about 14 to 15 years. I definitely went like in college at some point, but it's been like a good 14.
Maybe you'll go out
years.
for a steak next.
Yeah.
What would be hilarious to me is find out women went out for a steak and then they rented a party boat and all went out deep sea fishing for the day.
Yeah.
6 of us girls, you just went out like 7 miles.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see shore. and I caught a marlin and wrestled that bastard for like 2.5 hours.
Unfortunately, I blacked out. I didn't even see her catch the marlin.
She was so drunk, she blacked out in the boat. The only thing that, when I got the marlin up close, I just started shooting it. And that woke her up.
Yeah. But there's definitely stuff that I think women would be better off just saying what it is that they want or what they're craving. But they feel the pressures.
There is pressure to, you know what I mean? Like, people who eat junk are looked down on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a friend who's also very, like, she's very health conscious. She's very, not just like in her diet, but like the kind of things that she buys and things that she exposes herself to. And I was on the way to meet her and I knew that she was going to be looking at me weird because I was carrying a water bottle and you're really supposed to not drink very much out of plastic when you're pregnant.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's like it's a more recent thing that people say, like, you should really cut back, if not like cut it out entirely. And like as I walked up, I could see her like, and I'm like, I'm not a bad mom. I just was so thirsty.
My mom drank out of plastic a lot, and now I fucking yell at people. Now I just fucking have a terrible temper.
Is that what it is?
I think that's it, because my mom was a plastic drinker. And I'll just fucking road rage even when I'm on an escalator. Just fucking scream at people. You dumb fucking bitch.
Are you a road rager? Like when you're behind the wheel?
I have a terrible... it has to... I mean, I pull all that way back, but when I was younger, I was vicious and fucking insane.
Yeah.
Of attempting to, make people pull over and all that kind of shit. Anything with a temper, I'm embarrassed of to this day.
I feel like I'm an angrier pedestrian even than like someone in a car behind the wheel. Because I've snapped on people as a pedestrian who are in cars who I feel have done something to endanger me or someone around me.
That's a very New York thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen most places where people have to worry
It doesn't come up as much.
I had a cop stop me for jaywalking when I was in Austin. He just pulled over. He goes, "What are you doing? We have that." And I go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm from New York."
It's just what we do here.
We just do it every single day. I don't even think anyone in the history of New York has ever gotten a ticket for jaywalking, and they do it all the time in LA.
Yeah. Well, we have to get where we're going. There's just too many of us. You find an open window, you got to take it.
But then those are the same people that, everyone gets mad at if that car fucking almost hits somebody.
Right. That's true. I can't remember what the circumstance was, but it was a car who either thought that they was stopped at a stop sign, something like that. And I was with a group of friends. My brother was also with me. And the car nearly hit my brother and I. Mm-hmm. So, like, we immediately go into, like, dude, what the fuck kind of attitude. And then that guy gives a shit. And then the two of us went fucking crazy. Like, we were like, get the fuck out of the car, all this kind of shit. And I looked back and I saw my friends looked terrified. And they were like, you Benningtons are fucking crazy. Like, we just thought that you would just be like, oh, that was close. We're like, no.
Don't we have snap tempers? It's fucking
fuck
terrible.
That dude.
It's terrible. It's the worst way to be. Where's our guest at?
Walking down the hall now.
Oh, great. Thank you. So you tell us who it is.
It's Mo Mandel. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 16th, with special guests Louis J. Gomez and Sean Patton. Carolines.com for tickets. And you can use the code Mandel at checkout for $10 tickets. He's also part of Comedy Knockout.
Well, he's the guy who invented Comedy Knockout.
And that airs on True TV Wednesdays, 11 p.m., the new season. He'll be here very shortly.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. There he is.
Coming in studio, Mo Mandel.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Mo Mandel's in studio. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 16th. Special guests Louis J. Gomez and Sean Patton. Carolines.com for tickets. The code Mandel at checkout. And the Comedy Knockout airs Wednesdays, 11 p.m. on True TV.
Chris, did you just play applause instead of a song?
It was the intro to. It's the theme song to Comedy Knockout.
Very, very short.
It was a short.
Couldn't get him
song.
through the door. Good to see you, man.
That's a shame because our intro is really what we pride ourselves on. After the intro, it's totally downhill.
Now this that's your idea for this show?
Yeah. I created it and then exec produced it with a bunch of other people, and I've also been on it 5 times and lost every time.
Now, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just think there's a weird mojo in there. When I go up, it's almost like the crowd knows it's my baby, and they want to see my baby beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing to happen, though, right?
It hurts every time because here's the thing: we have these trophies we give the comedians who compete, and I've never won one.
You want one?
Yeah, I want one. And the showrunner's like, hey, we can just make you a trophy. I'm like, yeah, my parents gave me a Best Hustler award in Little League. I don't want that kind of bullshit again.
Still, it is good that you got that hustle.
You did have good hustle.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, you got to. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose.
Especially in this business.
Yeah.
Just nothing but hustle.
Yeah. Now, when you came up with this show, did you do it in clubs first? Or?
Yeah, I worked it at a small club in Burbank. Where I literally have to basically pay people to come, because the kind of show that especially in its early stages, it involves a lot of audience interaction.
Yeah,
and so we just have to convince people to come. We would have to run in front of 5 people. It started to build up a little bit from that. And then I was hosting a bar show for True at the time called Barmageddon, which explains why I'm sober now, because I would just travel around to different bars, and after 2 years of that, it was just enough drinking. And so then I pitched on this idea, and then it's kind of taken off. It's our 3rd season now.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Now the bar thing, did you bottom out, or did you just gradually get beat down by drinking?
Just too many binge episodes.
Yeah.
I remember one New Year's I woke up, I think it was 2014, 15. I woke up next to my girlfriend at the time, just I felt so great. And I was like, God, last night was awesome. And she just burst into tears and said,
boy.
You got into bed a half hour ago. You were asleep on the floor. You got us kicked out of a cab. You almost got in a fight with somebody who you thought was hitting on me, but
if
he was not.
If you don't remember it, did it happen? That's the important thing.
If a tree falls because it's drunk in the whiskey, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, I remember one time I woke up, the last time I woke up naked in an alley, not entirely naked, but without my shirt on. It was like 13 miles from where I remember being.
Yeah.
And I just had no memory of, I still don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't have any recollection of anything. And it was just like, God damn, I don't want to die because of this. I don't want to be like the another casualty of he's a comedian, he's an idiot. So what did you think was going to happen?
Well, there does seem to be, with funny people, a lot of alcoholics, but a lot of recovering alcoholics.
A lot.
I think they do better than most other professions I'm going to quit.
I think it's because it's like that 0 to 60. You start working in clubs. It's the same with even people who start working a restaurant or bar,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, my job has unlimited booze here,
Right.
and I work at night.
Yeah, the problem with entertainment is you usually started out as a bartender working in a restaurant.
Exactly.
Develop the problem, and then you graduate to comedian where you get alcohol for free again.
Exactly. So I think that it goes so fast for comics, where they go from just maybe being a casual drinker to having access to it and being encouraged to be at work at night every night.
And encouraged to be a scumbag. People don't know how much clubs just bring on. I remember doing some club in Tampa, and the guy goes, hey, if you want hookers or any kind of blow or anything, I can just get that for you. You're like, whoa, I'm here to work for you.
Right.
Why would you want to help me do worse?
Because he's already living that life.
Right.
He gives him an excuse. I had to take him out and take Mo out last night.
You do the Reno. There was a club up there in Tahoe, the Tahoe Improv, and they go, we've got discounts at the cat ranch, the Bunny Ranch down the street, which is a brothel.
Yeah.
Discounts. It's just ridiculous. They just assume, you're a comedian, you're probably a degenerate, and I guess they're right most of the time.
But you know what? I don't understand any kind of drinking other than blackout drinking.
Me too.
I do not
so
get
that means
it.
you're probably an alcoholic.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because my girlfriend now is a doctor. She's very together, and she always says to me, you don't want to have a drink? I'm like, I know I can't do it because I want to drink till my brain shuts off. That's all I want to drink for. The idea of having one drink, totally unappealing.
Horrifying.
It's just to kill my thoughts. That's what I want to do.
I'm always interested that there's those two different types of alcoholics. That there's an alcoholic I have to drink every day, and I'm always drinking, and then there's a person who's just if there are drinks, I will drink all the drinks.
That's a person though.
Yeah.
That's a real person.
Yeah.
The other people who, like, even though I'm sober, if I get up, I'll go like, kill your drinks, guys. We got to go. And they're like, just putting a drink aside. I say, kill it.
Doesn't that
kill
blow
it,
your
dude.
mind? It
Kill
blows your
it.
mind.
We're leaving, so you got to kill it right now.
And that instinct is, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, it's in so many other aspects of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the other day I bought a box of ice cream sandwiches. And as I was driving home, I'm like, I'll have one for dessert and that'll be it. And as I'm putting them in the fridge, I'm like, I'm going to have one now. And then I'll have one for dessert. So I have one then, and then I have one for dessert, and then I get into bed knowing that last one is in there, and I was just angry, and I just got out of bed like, motherfucker!
Yeah.
Because I had to eat it in anger because I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep until I was gone.
I was the same way with
It's
Coke.
pathetic.
Coke, we got to get rid of all this Coke. We don't want to get in trouble.
Goes quick.
Yeah, it does.
Because you can't go, you have to rush to rock bottom to build back up.
Right.
And so until you got to get there as fast as possible.
I kind of feel that way with like someone saying, like, if you start to say you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting so full. And then someone's like, oh, just wrap it up for later. It's like, am I sick?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to finish this and I'm
Yeah.
going to feel terrible. Like, I'm consciously know that I'm going to feel terrible after this.
I do find leftovers to be disgusting, though.
Disgusting. I hate the whole indignity of carrying it around.
Yeah,
It's
and that
just
Yeah, I don't want a
gross.
doggy bag. It makes me feel dumb.
This is why I don't cook. Because I know if I make anything, I will eat all of it. And if I
Like cake.
I have to, like, it's just pathetic. I would love to have more self control, but it just doesn't happen.
Plug away, Chris.
Mo Mandel's in studio. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City tomorrow, Wednesday, May 16th, with special guests Louis J. Gomez and Sean Patton.
Hilarious.
Carolines.com for tickets and use the code Mandel at checkout. And the new episodes of Comedy Knockout air Wednesdays, 11 p.m. on True TV.
Yeah, I'm excited about Caroline's because Louis and Sean are both so funny.
Yeah.
And I just I'm at this stage where I'm like, I need to rise up comedically. I need to push myself to try, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I figure if I'm following guys who are maybe funnier than me,
Well, Sean Patton, he's a writing machine.
Brilliant.
Writing machine.
I don't understand.
And I see him take leaps that the audience is like, what? Where are we going with this? And he just fucking goes until they catch up with him.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It seems
great.
like he's able to extrapolate so much humor from his life.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like even drinking, huge thing, been sober almost 4 years, not 5 jokes. 5 jokes. That's it. Not even more than like that. And one of them barely works. It's like, how can I not get more comedy out of this?
Yeah.
You know? So it's very nice of Sean and Louis to do me the favor of being on the shows, because it's gonna be a really good night.
Lewis does something that's weird to me, though. He smokes weed before he goes on stage.
Yeah, I
That's
don't get
something I
that
have
at all.
zero interest.
I
ever
never
doing.
understand that with weed. I don't know how you have weed and do anything other than have a full-blown panic attack.
Yeah. And especially with everyone staring at you.
I can't have a conversation with one person when I'm high without thinking that it's been a disaster.
Yeah. Does this make? Did I finish the sentence?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that.
You ever been to the where you're high and you say something great, but you said it about 5 minutes after it would have been appropriate to say it?
So bad.
You know when you're
Yeah.
bonding with people the first year of college? I think it was the first week. I'm hanging out with everyone in the dorm, and something came up, and I knew the perfect thing to say was, "Well, then let's all kiss the maiden." And I said it, and everyone was just we're never talking to that guy for the next 4 years.
And you get everybody to decide that.
Oh, it was awful.
But yeah, I even with people that you're close with, you could get that weird feeling of pressure when you're talking. So I cannot imagine with strangers, because the last time I smoked weed where I was like, I think I could I know I've been having some bad experiences with it, but I think I could do it. A bunch of my girlfriends all always smoke weed. So they were like, oh, you should smoke with us. And I was like, okay, that sounds fun. We're literally in the most comfortable. It's my best girlfriends. We're sitting around on the couch, and I'm 5 minutes in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go home. And they're like, no, you're doing good. No, you're fine. I'm like, no, I got to go.
You feel like an infant, right?
Yeah.
It just reduces you to your just weakest instinct. I remember one time I was living when I first moved to Hollywood, I had this roommate was he was selling weed, and he always had these drugged out kind of people over there. And there was this really cute Russian girl named Erna who would come by, and she did pills, and she would just she was always really cute, and me and my roommate were always really into her or whatever. And I remember one time she convinced me to smoke weed with her, and we're sitting on the couch watching TV, just stoned. I try to make out with her. She says no. and then doesn't leave. Just stays on the couch with me for another 3 hours. I guess he was on drugs and didn't feel like leaving. It was so weird.
Yes.
To be like, do I wait 45 minutes and try again? Or I'm just sitting there like panicking, like what is going on?
This is how we end up in the Me Too movement. We don't understand. We don't get it.
Just wouldn't you, if you knew some guy really wanted to have sex with you and he was like literally a foot from you on the couch, how could you be comfortable sitting there for 3 more hours?
Yeah,
Like,
no way.
It's just bizarre.
That's like, okay, well, the night is over.
Yes, that
Thanks
should be the
so
end of
much
it.
It should be like, well, nice attempt, sir. I'll see you on the battlefield next week.
Yeah.
You just hang out. You know.
Well, you brought up the weird weed dealer, and there's a whole generation of people that are going to think buying weed is like going to the 7-Eleven. And that thing, like, because I dealt weed and other drugs when I was in high school, I don't think they're going to know that thing that you have to go to an odd person's house and sometimes sit there for a while, with that thing of a guy that you would never be with, and then him just going like this, who's this dude you're with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do the Cheech and Chong movies make any sense to a kid who's watching them in 10 years?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Why are they worried about this truck made of weed? They're only going to get like 4 months in jail. What's the big deal?
Yeah, like the guy who I would buy from in college was not a person I wanted to spend time with.
Yeah.
And every time they're like, yeah, I want to buy, but like now I'm going to have to be either at his place or he's going to come here. He's going to stay for too long.
You got to be a little social and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like comedy club managers.
Yeah.
They're just like, for the most part, the kind of person you would never want to know in your entire life.
Yeah.
But or even bookers of comedy shows. The booker,
Yeah.
Like, I remember the Comedy Store used to have this degenerate, awful guy named Tommy that you had to like kiss up to, And it's same like with drug dealers. Like, if you didn't need this weird thing from them, you would never associate with someone like that in your entire life.
Not to mention, I didn't like the pressure of like, well, I guess we'll smoke now. And you're like,
yes, they
well,
would
maybe
want
this is for later. Maybe this is for like me and my friends to enjoy it at a later date.
Yeah.
So they would always be like, so like, let's do this. And you're like, it's not for us.
And you're like,
I don't want to do
and I
this
also don't want to smoke that weed next to a big fucking snake that you have. You know what I mean? Like all those dudes would have a big fucking snake. Awful.
That's part of the drug dealer costume. Just something weird in the room that's going to make you uncomfortable.
All right, John wants to jump in on the weed thing. John, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, I was just listening to the 7-Eleven comment. I do some work out in the court system on Long Island, and recently there's been a couple of kids that have gotten in trouble in schools for bringing weed and pills back to the drug dealers because they didn't like them. Like there's some kind of return policy.
Really?
So, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Well, it's because it's really expensive now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I was bringing it back to the guy.
Yeah.
So I brought the pills back to school, and then I thought I got in trouble, and they just leave me shaking my head.
Yeah, this is a no return policy.
That
here.
happens all the time, though. I remember I had a friend who was a cop, and he'd said, like, very common is people who buy drugs and get ripped off by other drug dealers reporting that robbery to the police.
Right.
And they're just so stupid. They think the cop's like, oh, that guy didn't give you the coke that you were buying?
Yeah.
We need to get down this at the crime lab.
Well, that's the thing that movies have made the mistake of us thinking that there's some kind of genius criminal. Because they never are.
No, they're dumb as rocks.
It's like their idea is we're going to run into that bank with shotguns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's as far as this goes.
Because 99% of crimes are just someone who's jonesing for drugs.
Yeah.
Like there was a great video, I was all over the internet a few months ago where some guy like robbed a Jimmy John's and they had like high def color cameras. I mean, you could see every aspect of this guy. And it was like, they're like, why did you, I mean, he's going to jail for like 20 years. Like, well, my drug dealer said he needed another $100 and I looked, I didn't see cameras, so I thought that was the one. You're like, dun dun dun, criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
Well, Farrah Fawcett's kid, he was left $4 million, right? But he couldn't have the money. He could have, this money was just going to be doled out to him because he's a drug addict. And just the other day, he went into a fucking 7-Eleven with a knife saying, give me your money.
Oh my God.
But he has $4 million. And there's not a lot of money in that fucking place,
No.
but huge amount of time.
But you do got to give him the credit for going in with a knife. You know, there's something old school and pirate like.
I don't know the last time I've heard of anyone robbing a
By
bank.
knife point.
I'll jab you with this.
Ouch! No,
I got
please
robbed
don't.
twice in Amsterdam by gunpoint that I never saw the gun.
You just
two
believe?
different people came up to me and like they put their hand in their pocket and they said, "I have a gun. I will shoot you if you don't give me 20 guilders," which is like $25.
Yeah.
And you're like, "There's no way this guy has a gun, but it's $25. Do you gamble?"
Yeah.
And it was all in the first. We got to the hostel. We want to do the stupid walk around the red light district. We got robbed twice. Got back to the hostel like maybe we're not cut out for the red light district.
Well,
Let's go to the Anne Frank house. See how we fare there.
Amsterdam is now starting to regret that they have legal weed. They're starting to say,
Really?
"Is this not the best thing for us?" Just as California and Colorado are getting in deep.
I wonder, just like financially, or
Yeah.
wow.
No, not just financially, but just
Crime
what
and-
people are doing,
Yeah.
just the way they act, hanging out there all day.
I grew up in a tiny town in Mendocino County, which is like part of known as the Emerald Triangle of weed growing in California, And now it's been interesting because when my parents first moved up there and they were growing weed and stuff in like the 80s, it was all like hippies who were in it for like the right kind of like hippy dippy drug reasons. And then the more it got accepted, it's all just like cartels and gangs,
right?
And all my parents own like 100 acres, and like we don't go on like half of it because it's just like you don't know what's growing out. Like people just grow shit on your property, and you just sort of like don't go there, And now what's happening is what's really becoming legal. You see just how like capitalistic everyone is. Even the old hippies who went up there to grow are like against it being legal because it's cutting into their profits,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like the more it becomes big business and money, it's like it just. Yeah, it attracts a shady kind of.
Well, I remember even like years ago, I was up in Eureka and we were going up in the mountains, and everyone was like, "Don't get off the road, dumb man. Don't fuck around with those people." And I thought, aren't they kind of gentle, fun? They're like, no, they don't like anybody fucking around.
Yeah, they might have been fun in like the 60s and 70s, and now there's just like 14 Mexican guys with machine guns.
They'll cut you in half. Those fucking guys will cut you in half.
Crazy. I wouldn't have thought it was like that.
Well, it's not about weed. It's about cash at that
Right.
point. You know what I mean? It's just a money thing. But it's weird. Like even years ago, you were only a couple dealers away from a guy with a machine gun. Like probably not the guy that you cop weed from,
right?
But the guy that he cops from, that guy has to go into a weird fucking place.
Well, it's actually more dangerous than ever in a sense because there are all these weed shops, but because it's not like a lot of places not federally recognized, it's all cash. So people know you're walking out of there with cash, and kids get shot all the time, like in LA and places like that, because drug dealers know it's always some 25-year-old kid working there, and he's walking out with all this cash, and it's just sort of like it's kind of a dangerous.
Yeah, they can't take it to a bank, so now they have private security guys, right, who come in, and when it's a massive amount of thing, they all run this down the road together. And it's like fucking Bangkok.
It's like if I'm actually headlining the comics at the Mohegan Sun this weekend, and if people see me out there leaving my merch table, they'll know I've just got thousands and thousands of dollars.
Exactly. That's
this guy is
dangerous for you.
just pouring through T-shirts like nothing. They're going to try to roll me on the way back to my suite, which will probably be the janitor's closet there at the casino.
Bo Mandel's in studio. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club tomorrow night. Louis J. Gomez and Sean Patton are special guests. Carolines.com for tickets. Use the code Mandel at checkout, and new episodes of Comedy Knockout air Wednesdays at 11 p.m. on True TV, on Twitter at Mo Mandel.
And the start is with a losers bracket this year, right?
Yeah, we started with an all losers episode of Comedy Knockout,
And it's only like...
although I wasn't on it, I've lost every time.
Yeah. Dave Hill is on it, and you're going, well, there's a guy who's just one of the most amazing comics, but it doesn't mean that you're going to win the game.
It's a weird thing. It's like being a crowd favorite, like who the crowd votes for on the show, is like, it just makes me realize like whatever I have as a comedian or a performer, it's not like crowd darling. That's for damn sure. I always emerge as the villain somehow. And guys like Dave Hill, he's won quite a few times, but it's always interesting like who the crowd just loves. Yeah. There's like this weird unfair thing with comedy and performance. There's something you can make everyone laugh, but whether they love you or not, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, because it's an aggressive thing to be funny, but some people have incredible likability, right? Where the audience wants to take care of them. And I think that if you look at Big J, the things that he says and the way people, he might be the most likable person who's ever lived.
I agree. There's so much that he can say that most people can't get away with.
I know. And I feel like my thing on those shows, I always like doing well, and then the part of me that wants to like say that extra tag that just pushes it too far, and then I lose everybody.
Yeah.
And then I'm backstage like, probably didn't need to say that Holocaust joke. That probably wasn't the most smart thing. But I don't know what. Yeah, Jay's got like that twinkle in his eye. He can kind of just. I don't know why you love him, even though he's like mean and misogynist. Half the time it's like it's weird. I don't know what it is.
Well, if you look at like Robin Williams, the audience, I mean, if his material was just all over the place, you always hear like genius, but then you go, well, what was the thing that was so brilliant there in the middle of all that craziness? But the audience wanted to take him home and make sure that he was okay.
You're right.
He was just a lovely, vulnerable person.
Right. If most personalities were that manic with their comedy,
right,
to come in and just be like, I'm over here, I'm doing this, now this is a voice, and now I'm over here, and like, yeah, I think most people would be really turned off by that. But there is something like that you just love about him.
Well, they say that nature makes us think that babies are cute, so we don't crush them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know why. We just go, look, it's so adorable.
But it somehow doesn't work with animals because their cubs are cute too, and they'll eat them as soon as they're hungry.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, it does work for us. Like, we think baby animals are cute.
Yeah.
You wouldn't eat a bunny, but you would eat a rabbit.
Exactly. And that is their defense mechanism.
Yeah.
That you look and you're like, wait a second, it's got these big glassy eyes.
Yeah,
and it's
baby
like
deer is adorable.
Giant head, tiny body, just like our baby.
Jay Okerson, he's got a big head. Maybe that's part of it.
That is
because I
definitely
watch
part of
him
it.
and I love him. I think he's funny as hell, and the whole crowd does too. And I'm like, well, he's saying worse shit than I say, and yet the crowd turns on me half the time. How
I
does
mean,
do it?
he says shit. I was just watching him.
It's so funny.
Caroline's
but
not
you
too
love-
long
yeah.
ago, and I'm like, and what was really funny when I was at Caroline's, there was like a, Jay sits down and he's just like riffing, and there was like a real mixture of like blacks and whites. It had that fucking 1950s hip jazz club feel, and I'm like, oh, this must what it felt like when you saw Lenny Bruce. Black people are like, yeah, we do that, instead of being offended at all.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bill Burr about this one time at the Comedy Store, like, cause he went up there and did some bit that was just like so dark and tough, and the crowd ended up coming with him. And I was asking him, like, how do you, cause for me, comedy's only fun if I'm like challenging the crowd,
right,
and trying to tread that line between are they going to hate you or love you. And I was asking Bill, like, what his thought is on that. And he said it's like a staring contest. You just have to not back off and force them to just accept your logic and just not whimper at all. I think that's why a guy like Okerson or even Daniel Tosh, who I think is a genius at this too, they just stand behind the opinion so strong that eventually the crowd has to kind of, if the logic's right, they have to be like, I mean, there is an element of truth to that,
Right.
And as long as it's grounded in truth, I mean, it's kind of hard to
Bert
really be
does
offended.
dig a hole. I mean, he just digs that hole. He hops in, and then gets everyone to come down and they're with him.
But what's funny is when you see him do like short sets, like in LA and stuff, like especially now he's so big he can do it. But other times I've seen him where he'd dig a hole and then like that 12-minute mark would come up, and he's a good guy, so he's not going to run the light. Like he doesn't quite get out of it. He has to kind of just be like, "Hey, fuck you guys," got to get off on that.
When you interview him, the first thing he says is no to every. You know what I mean? Like, well, you started this way. No, not really. Some Boston, but mostly. And you're like, you don't need that. Yeah. But he does not want to be like, oh, you figured me out.
Right,
Here's the way out.
right.
Chris, we plugging it all? Or, I mean, he's going to Caroline's.
Yeah,
It's a premier club.
You're trying to sell it out, and I don't think I'm anywhere near that.
It's
a giant club.
It's too big.
Mo Mandel's in studio. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City tomorrow night, May 16th. Special guests Louis J. Gomez and Sean Patton. Carolines.com for tickets. Use the code Mandel at checkout. And for new episodes of Comedy Knockout, those air Wednesdays at 11 p.m. on True TV.
And if anyone's in the Connecticut area, if I could just plug the Comics Comedy Club in the Mohegan Sun Casino, I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is a great. So I've never done Mohegan Sun. I did Foxwoods.
Yeah.
Maybe about 3 years ago. And I remember it's just like how hard it is to get people to come to your shows. I was walking out of the 8 o'clock on my way back to my hotel room on the Saturday, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Mo Mandel, I'm a big fan. I love your Comedy Central special." I was like, "Oh, it's awesome, man. Were you at the 8 o'clock?" He goes, "No, I didn't even know you were here." I'm like, "Oh, do you want free tickets at the 10 o'clock? He goes, "Nah, I'm going to gamble."
Yeah.
You're like,
what?
Yeah.
You were my fan.
You just said you like me.
But there's a chance to win money just feet away from us.
I would, but there's a Panera Bread on the second floor, and I just really want to try that Caesar salad.
Wait till the sports gambling goes national.
Yeah.
That'll be unbelievable. Every single play, I'm going to be gambling on something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to just leave it up to the game. I'm going to gamble on every single play.
So is that where you put your alcohol things into your gambling, or was the gambling there before?
I put everything.
Nice.
I put everything there. Everything's the same as alcoholism for me. Drug addiction. It's all the fucking same.
Which addictions got you laid the most?
Well, it's an interesting one because they're all like, the thing is, I remember when I was younger, my parents would be like, well, at least he's only drinking and not taking drugs. I'm like, why would anyone limit themselves? You know what I mean? Don't we mix them all together? But I think being a coke dealer is a way to meet a lot of interesting women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, like, some of my time in my act is like, the problem with being sober and trying to get laid as a guy is you kind of seem like a predator. Because what you end up doing is taking women to bars and being like, hey, you should, we want to drink?
Drink
And
up.
then she's like, what are you going to drink? I'm like, I'm going to stay sober. Just
Yeah.
let me know when you're ready to make a mistake.
Well, Chris, you've said you've never had sex undrunk in your life.
Oh,
right?
no, yeah.
Even with your current girlfriend, you've never been sober and
Just
had.
always, at the very least, buzzed.
Do you
if
think that
not
you could?
buzzed. I at this point, I don't know.
Can I be honest with you? The greatest thing that I've discovered with sobriety is sober sex is so much better. It's just a million times better. You know why?
Of course it is.
Because you're able to focus and experience the whole, like, when I would have drunk sex, it'd be like, yeah, it's much easier to go from like the bar to sex. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because you're more comfortable, but then you just go right to the orgasm. You're just trying to finish.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're sober, you can enjoy all the aspects of it more, and I feel like it's just 1,000 times more satisfying.
The other thing is you can maintain an erection, Chris, and
A
you've
lot
never
better.
done that.
It's hard. When you drink as much whiskey.
To not have to fold it in, it's just such a wonderful feeling. It's a real joy. My girlfriend's actually a doctor of sexual medicine, so she's got just Viagra pills all around the apartment. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. That's a joy.
So she just brings them home, and that's
These doctors always got like samples,
Yeah, but it seems like a hint to me. It's like she's just leaving some of them.
No, it's not a hint. She doesn't lay it out with my orange juice in the morning. It's just sort of like, you play around with it a little bit.
So what exactly is her practice like?
So she's a urologist and a doctor of sexual medicine. We actually do a podcast called The Full Release, where we take questions and stuff like that. But she does all this dick surgery and gender reassignment surgery and all that stuff. Yeah.
All that stuff seems so painful.
It's not something I am trying to fit into my schedule for now. But it's crazy, the shit that apparently old people have to deal with to have sex, and they want to fuck. Like people in their 80s come in there, make it work again. Just putting in pumps and stuff. I mean, they literally put in pumps. They put a little pump in your nutsack, so you pump your penis up, and then it's just it's like a little shoe. And you can still orgasm even when you can't. It's crazy.
Well, the thing I remember when the pump was invented, it was talked about a lot, and then I think that was even a pre-Viagra thing. So once they got into Viagra, I didn't hear about the pump anymore, but it still exists.
Well, have you ever tried Viagra?
Mm-hmm.
So the interesting thing is about Viagra is it only works, when your mind is right. If you're not thinking about if you it's not like you just take Viagra, you get hard. That's a myth.
It's not just like a 13-year-old boy.
No,
in class
it's not. You
thing.
have to be
Okay.
I the only time I really took it before was my girlfriend playing around. I thought I was going to get laid with this girl. I remember I took it, and then she ended up turning me down. So then I was just sort of stuck, not and then that's not an arousing feeling to get turned down. So I didn't have an erection, but my heart was beating super fast. The drug had to go somewhere,
Yeah.
But so what they do is they give Viagra until guys get too old where it doesn't work. Then she prescribes these shots, where it's like a shot, and you could be watching the most gruesome thing ever, but you'll still get hard regardless. I mean, you could be walking around Auschwitz on a tour, you're going to get hard. I don't know, a terrible analogy. But so she has to teach guys how to give themselves these shots. But she said what happens is, much in the way you smoke weed, and you're not high yet, so you smoke a little more, and all of a sudden you're way too high. Guys do that with these shots. And so they overshoot themselves, and they come in, they're like, I've had this erection for 3 days. You gotta help me out.
Jesus.
And she's got to coax down the cobra.
God.
Her life is so weird, man.
It is weird. It's weird to date a girl who just looked at 40 dicks that day.
Yeah.
And then you just got to be like, hope mine matches up.
Not really, honey. You don't want to be compared to this. Now, you guys get a lot of questions on the podcast, though, right?
Yeah, it's called the full release. And people, what's a good question they had the other day? I learn all kinds of crazy shit. Well, like somebody called in the other day. This one was like, I noticed with this one guy, I'm having multiple orgasms. Why is that? Like, is there a chance his penis is hitting different walls of my vagina or something like that? And it's so interesting because she'll sort of like break it down to things like, well, what has your diet been like? What's in your system right now, and all these kind of things I just don't really think about. And then I hate hearing the idea that women are out there having multiple orgasms. I'm like, I didn't know that. There are guys who are able to do that. I thought going 1 for 10 was pretty good on that.
You're just like, it's a myth, right?
I thought we all were agreeing that.
But now you can say to her, you need to eat more broccoli.
Exactly.
You're really eating too much junk food. But yeah, isn't it weird though? Like none of us know how anything works.
Nothing works.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And yet we get to vote.
we get to make babies with these things.
Yeah.
We don't understand. I mean, that's why, I was like, what's it going to be like to have sex with a urologist? Maybe she'll like have like some sort of dim mak kung fu touch.
Yeah.
Or she could just sort of like flick the side of my penis and an amazing thing happens. You know what I mean? Because like she knows, she just explained to me, she'll explain to me, oh, why does it feel good when you're touched? Oh, there's a nerve there and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of bizarre, just how little you don't know about your own equipment.
We're nuts. All right, we're wrapping this up. Chris, why don't you give a nice plug then?
Mo Mandel's been in studio. He's headlining Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City tomorrow, Wednesday, May 16th. Louis J. Gomez and Sean Penn are the special guests.
This is a great show lined up with the three of these guys.
And you can use the code Mandel for $10 tickets, carolines.com. And then Mo will also be at Comics and Mohegan Sun Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go to comicsmohegansun.com. His podcast, The Full Release, that's available on Apple Podcasts and Comedy Knockout. That airs Wednesdays, 11 p.m. on True TV and on Twitter at Mo Mandel.
Well, that was amazing. He
killed it all,
He collected plugs on the way.
Yeah, it was great.
I almost expected to be like, he's given one orgasm out of every 10 attempts. This guy really does it all.
10 orgasms.
All right, thanks so much, Mo.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974.